historic Coliseum in Los Angeles, California, the first sellout of the season to see longtime rivals, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Los Angeles Raiders, each team's playoff future in the balance on a gray and perhaps rainy day. And it's simple now with a win by New England over Chicago. It's win and you're in. The winner advances into the playoffs, and the loser is out. That's the kind of situation tomorrow. Well, the loser will be looking for consolation psychologically, and the winner, well, whoopee. It's a star-studded audience here at the Coliseum, and Kansas City will get the ball first. The Chiefs in white. Jeff Jager kicks it off for the Raiders. These long-standing AFL rivals. It figures to be smash mouth, and the opening kickoff is just that, as James Trapp makes the hit, and he is wobbly, and so is the kick returner Danon Hughes. Jim Gray joins us on the sidelines.
Well, Dick, as you know, the tensions between these two teams run very high because of this rivalry. Well, during the pregame warm-ups, Arthur Whittington, an assistant coach for the Raiders, and Kurt Schottenheimer had a brief scuffle and an altercation. They had to be separated because the Raiders were upset that the Chiefs were punting where they were warming up. So in this long, storied rivalry, we've had about everything, but never the assistant coaches fighting. Dick?
They're ready. 23-yard line. Marcus Allen, the former Raider, and he plows forward for a gain of nearly 6 to the 29. Joe Montana running the Chiefs offense. They need somewhere over 300 yards today to set a Kansas City offensive record. Montana, so this year thrown for over 60%, 15 touchdowns, only 9 interceptions, and has been protected well. Sacked but 18 times all year. One of the best records protecting the quarterback in the NFL. And Montana to throw on second down. Has a man open. Great catch, Willie Davis. And Davis is out of bounds at the Raiders' 45-yard line. And we welcome all of those of you who have been watching the Cleveland Browns close out the regular season with an impressive 35-9 win against the Seattle Seahawks. Dick Enberg with Bob Trumpy and Jim Gray. Welcome to the Coliseum. The Chiefs took the opening kickoff and have just picked up the initial first down of the game on a Montana to Willie Davis pass. It's the first sellout of this season at the Coliseum. Montana on the screen and has a man wide open, and Anders can't hold on. Rob Fredrickson, the rookie from Michigan State, over almost with a ricochet interception as we check on the starting lineups for the Chiefs. Alt, Zott, Dronhard, Marty Schottenheimer feels he should have made the Pro Bowl. Shields and Graham protecting Montana and opening the holes for Marcus Allen and Kimball Anders. Anders, the leading receiver this year. The speed outside is back from injury. Burden and Davis. Lake Dawson, the rookie from Notre Dame, joins them in 3 wide. Second down 10 from the Raider 45. Allen caught in the backfield. Fredrickson. He's matured tremendously in this his rookie year. 6'4" and 240. The Raiders have Harris and 2 big men inside ball, and the second-year Pro Bowler Chester McLaughlin, Anthony Smith, the pass rusher. The linebackers, Fredrickson, the rookie from Michigan State, Beaker in his second year from Colorado, the veteran Moss, Terry McDaniel goes to Honolulu, Albert Lewis, the former Chief, Bates and Anderson are the safeties. Third down, 12. Flag down. Montana goes long. Davis is wide open. It'll be a touchdown if the flag is against the Raiders. 47 yards. Check the penalty. Red Cashin, the referee. Somebody blew coverage on Willie Davis.
Offside. Middle of the line by the defense. That penalty is declined. Touchdown.
So the Kansas City Chiefs take the opening kickoff and strike quickly. A 47-yard scoring pass, Montana to Willie Davis.
You see, McLaughlin was the guy who jumped off sides. Willie Davis runs the pattern against the nickel defense of the Los Angeles Raiders. Excellent pass protection by Kansas City, and Montana, hey, take your shot. Davis wide open. The safety did not rotate out far enough.
Lynn Elliott adds the extra point. And with less than 2 minutes gone in the opening quarter, Kansas City strikes 7-0.
Raiders defensive backs looking into the quarterback. That zone. Patrick Bates, 24, does not rotate out. Davis, excellent speed. A perfect throw by Joe Montana, and they strike first.
Undancer, unprancer. Nice deer. What was that?
Santa, get with the program. It's Domino's new Buffalo Wings. Now, when you call for your favorite Domino's pizza, you can get a full order of tangy chicken wings for just $3.99. Beats milk and cookies.
Domino's Buffalo Wings.
This holiday season, remember, most ordinary credit cards charge interest from the moment you buy something, if you carry a balance as little as $1. So buy your presents with the new Optima True Grace card from American Express and get an interest-free grace period on each new purchase, even when you carry a balance. It's a jolly good thing. And keep recycling those old credit cards. I'm decorating my tree. Apply today. Call 1-800-4-OPTIMA.
This is the elegantly appointed front-wheel drive Acura Legend. And to connoisseurs of classic automotive art, this is the dinner bell that says, let the feast begin. The new 1995 Acura Luxury Lease, available exclusively at your Acura dealer.
Pride and joy of Central Arkansas. Willie Davis with his third touchdown, and the smiles are big on the Kansas City sidelines with less than 2 minutes after the kickoff.
Yeah, Dick, you seldom expect to be that wide open against the Los Angeles Raiders.
Louis Aguiar, the punter, with Elliott having a sore leg, doing the kicking off for the Chiefs again today. A lot of speed, Ismail and Alexander Wright back for the Raiders. It's to the Rocket side. Breaks a couple of tackles and finally down at the 29-yard line. Let's go back to the touchdown.
Dick, one of the great things about Joe Montana, when he sets up, watch the influence he has on the safety. Watch his head. Where is he? Looks outside, back inside, hold the safety, and then goes to Davis on the outside. He's trying to influence number 24. Patrick Bates will come into the picture here, 47 yards and a touchdown. I didn't think any score would be that easy today.
So Davis has given the Chiefs the 7-0 lead, and now it's Jeff Hostetler and the Raiders' chance. They start from the 30. The Haas comes out throwing over the middle, complete. A gain of about 8 to the tight end, Andrew Glover. His 31st catch of the year. David Whitmore, former Giant, former 49er, makes the hit. Perry, Wisniewski, Pro Bowler. Mosvar, Gogan, and Skrepanak are the offensive protectors of Hostetler. Tom Rathman. Harvey Williams, the ex-Chief, has had a terrific year, looking for 1,000 yards on the season. Brown, the leading receiver for the Raiders, and has a Raider record for wide receivers, 83 catches. Alexander Wright and Ismail, tremendous speed, has been well documented all season long. And Andrew Glover, the tight end, making the catch for a 9-yard gain on first down. And Williams. Across the 40, that'll be good enough for the first down. Williams gets 2. The Chiefs defensively, Neil Smith to the Pro Bowl. Joe Phillips and Dan Saliamua plug things inside, and Darren Mickle on the defensive right side. Derek Thomas, 6 years, 6 Pro Bowls. Simeon Manuski for Jameson. It's Collins and Carter. Carter goes to his first trip to Hawaii in the Pro Bowl. Whitmore and White at safety, and Mincy is the nickel. Neil Smith has had tremendous games against the Raiders. In fact, Kansas City enjoying that 9-1 edge against Los Angeles. Williams juggles the toss and then vaults across the 45-yard line. William White up to secure the tackle. And Dale Carter was down submarining, and he limps off.
Initial stages of this game with these two opponents with their long history. There's Carter on the sideline. There's a lot of jabbing going on here. Kansas City landed the haymaker hook, but there's a lot of feeling out here. Very slow in the initial stages of this game.
Hostetler with both backs in the pattern. Throw to Rathman, broken up by linebacker Minuski. Played for Minnesota, Washington, Kansas City out of Colgate.
Dick, this ball kind of floated by Hostetler. Didn't really put a lot on it. He had pressure, but from behind the offense, you're going to see Rathman release on what's called the circle route. And kind of puts a little arc on it, and that just allows Minuski to get there to knock it away.
Meanwhile, they work on Dale Carter's left knee, it would appear.
He's their best coverage corner.
Darren Anderson appears to be at the right corner. He didn't get it off. That'll be 5 yards on the delay of game against Hostetler. Penalty number 148, 2 away from an all-time NFL record.
By the offense, 5 yards, still third down.
Dick, remember the last time these two teams met, Raiders had 15 penalties. They had more penalty yardage against them than they had rushing yardage for them.
It'll be now 3rd down and 9. Marty Schottenheimer, he said one word this season, a roller coaster. Put that all together. So just when you think it's going good and you beat San Francisco, then you lose some very tough games, especially at home to the Rams and to San Diego. Hostetler down the middle has a man, Glover, and he can't hang on. Andrew Glover in a crowd of Chiefs had it for a moment and then belted by Charles Mincy.
And Dick, that ball went right through the hands of David Whitmore. 41 was right in front of the tight end. There you see 41. He's got coverage on the tight end, Glover, 87, releasing off the line of scrimmage. Now watch this ball go right through Whitmore's hands. And that little bit of a tip just made it tough for Glover to make the catch.
Damon Hughes trips back to the 20 as Jeff Gossett was kicked for over 25 miles in his punts in the NFL since he broke in 1980. Veteran from Eastern Illinois lifts one toward the near sidelines. It bounces into the end zone and the touchback for Kansas City. A net of 38 yards. When we come back, the Chiefs with a 7-0 lead will be at the 20.
Soft leather, fine wood, acoustic perfection. Front row seats. The experience of beautiful music has always been enhanced by a rich atmosphere. Acura. Some things are worth the price.
It's up to you. All you have to do is brush your teeth. No brush, no story.
With fax, voicemail, speakerphone, and an integrated CD-ROM system,
Daddy, let's do this book tonight.
the compact Presario will let you do things that may have seemed impossible before.
She brush?
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Acura. Some things are worth the price. By Energizer batteries. Still going. Long-lasting Energizer batteries keep going and going. By Warner Brothers' new motion picture, Disclosure, now playing at a theater near you. And by Domino's Pizza. Call now and order new buffalo wings, and we'll deliver them with your pizza. It's gotta be Domino's.
Super Joe Montana. He's been in 11 playoffs in his great career, and of course the 4 Super Bowl wins. To Marcus Allen. And the ex-Raider who is super motivated to play against those uniforms, black and silver, gets 8 on first down. Dale Carter, they say, stepped up on his ankle, that he'll return.
Didn't see it being retaped or anything. That last sweep by the Los Angeles Raiders kind of turned it slightly, but they need him out here today. The Pro Bowl corner, their best coverage corner, with his Raiders speed at the outside receiver.
Marcus Allen, he needs 114 yards to hit the 10,000 mark in his terrific career. And he slashes out to the 34-yard line and a first down. 4 carries, 18 yards for the former All-America who played right here in the Coliseum for Southern California.
And Dick, Marcus Allen will certainly give credit to the guys up front. You can see the center, Grunhard and Zott, and also Will Shields do an excellent job of rooting 2 huge, strong defensive tackles out, Jerry Ball and also Chester McLaughlin.
John Old's left tackle settles in on first down at the 35. Allen again, and this time stacked up after a short gain, a couple yards. 9 minutes remaining in the opening quarter, and the Chiefs, if you're just joining us, on a 47-yard touchdown pass, Montana to Willie Davis on the first possession, have a 7-0 lead, and Davis back into the huddle.
Of course, one of the things that allows Kansas City Chiefs offense success is the ability to spread it around. When they can do a lot of different things, throw to a lot of different people, this is a very difficult offense to handle.
And that touchdown pass, a good omen for Kansas City fans. Tight end Walker in motion. Montana to the sidelines to Willie Davis, and the touchdown maker hooks up for a first down at the 48.
And Dick, that's also a message. I think Terry McDaniel, 36 of the Raiders, right there, probably the best coverage corner in the league. They go right at him. A lot of teams avoid going to McDaniel. Again, Raiders going with zone, but the Chiefs saying, look, we're going to throw it anywhere we want.
McDaniel has been to the Pro Bowl the last 2 years, and again this year with 7 interceptions. He scored 3 defensive touchdowns. Montana over the middle and complete to J.J. Burden, and almost intercepted on the carom by Patrick Bates.
Timing is a big part of this Kansas City so-called West Coast offense. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Joe sets, hitch step, throws. Excellent coverage by the Los Angeles Raiders. Burden should have had that. I mean, you like to have that ball into your chest when you're in the middle of the defense, but that's a very catchable ball. And in a game like this, you can't miss opportunities.
Chester McLaughlin was pressuring Montana. Second and long, they give to Allen, doesn't fool the Raiders. Gain of only 2. It'll be 3rd down and 8.
He slipped a little bit just as he got out of his stance. Rained earlier here in Los Angeles. Not a lot of rain, but you need that first step. It sets up the timing of the play and also your balance. As he comes to the line of scrimmage here, and it kind of slips there a little bit, loses his stride, makes an easy tackle for the Raiders.
Montana into the flat, and it's Kimball Landers, and he may have the first down. Knocked out of bounds at the 42 in Raider territory. Anders, who has 61 catches this season to lead Kansas City.
And Dick, I wonder how many of those receptions are on that little fullback swing.
Right at the sticks on the far sidelines. So they stretch out the chains, and Red Cashin says another first down for Kansas City.
In this Kansas City offense, there's always an outlet. Now watch Montana look down the field. Primary's covered, secondary's covered, outlet is the fullback. If you hit him in stride, he can turn up the field and make the first down. It's the key to this offense, that little swing pass.
Allen running right behind Big John Auld, and finally straightened near the 36-yard line. But that for Marty Schottenheimer is a win when you can get more than 4 yards on first down.
No question about it. It keeps the crowd out of the game here in Los Angeles Coliseum. One, it shows the Los Angeles Raiders, we're confident. We think we can run anywhere and do anything we want.
with 83 yards to go to become the 9th player to hit that 10,000 career yardage mark. He has 31 today. Marcus Allen given a breather. Only Anders in the backfield. 2nd and 4. Montana chased out of the pocket, hits the tight end Walker, and a first down at the 30. Fredrickson with another tackle for the Raiders.
Well, the Raiders blitz. Montana avoids it and again hits the outlet receiver. So to this point, the Kansas City offense is functioning perfectly. Now, Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, guessing right against the Raiders defense, and the offense executing, especially with the outlet receivers. Now, Raiders need to do something quickly. A big blitz, something that stops Kansas City's momentum.
Leading 7-0. Under 6 minutes left in the opening period. First down, Montana. Marcus Allen, and on first down, Allen gets 5-6 yards again. And if you can pick up 5 yards on first down or running the ball, you're talking about making Marty Schottenheimer a very happy coach.
I'm shocked. Against these defensive tackles that the Raiders put on the field, you're not supposed to be able to do this. But a good job again by the center and the 2 guards of Kansas City. They're doubling one side and singling the other, and Marcus is finding a spot.
2nd and a short 5. And Montana sacked for the first time as Greg Biekert, the middle linebacker, shoots through. And to get Montana on the ground this year, that's worth a call home. Only the 19th time he's been sacked.
Here's Biekert. They needed something to stop the roll here by Kansas City. They blitz Fredrickson 53. Biekert comes untouched. Montana does the right thing, but that's an excellent call by Fox, the defensive coordinator. Kansas City was doing everything they wanted and anything they wanted there.
A loss of 10 that may have taken Kansas City out of field goal range. Flag down, and Montana has to throw it away as Anthony Smith was in his face. Let's check the yellow flag.
Before the ball was snapped. Ball start, number 76. 5 yards, still 3rd down.
Left tackle John Alt, and that'll make it 3rd and 20.
Everywhere now, these offensive tackles, they have to worry about getting off on the snap. And you can see that the defensive lineman there, Alberto White, kind of rocks a little bit. It draws Alt out of his stance, and therefore the penalty.
Aldo has been bothered by terrible back condition all season. Missed several games. Good protection. Montana going for Davis again. Intercepted at the 1-yard line. No, he did not hold on, apparently. Patrick Bates. And for the Raiders, it's fortunate because they would have had to start at their 1. Now, the Kansas City punting team will have to place it down that deep.
Dick, Willie Davis on this pattern slows up. He does not expect the ball at all, and then suddenly it's thrown his way. A jump ball. Davis gets inside. Bates almost makes the reception, just bounces to the ground off his hip. You're right. That is a break. That is a break for the Raiders because they would have been at the 1-inch line.
In to punt is Aguiar, averaging 42 plus on the season. Trying to aim it toward the sideline. Wow. Hit very high, but it looks as if it's aimed, well, at the 5. And are they able to hold it in? Yes, they are. What a play by Dale Carter. Carter's ankle is fine. He does that pirouette on that sore foot.
Well, this takes presence of mind. You know where your feet are. You catch it. You throw it back in bounds. It's caught by your teammate. 1st and 99.
You train all year. You've been practicing since July, and it comes down to this game to make the playoffs. Winner goes on. Loser, the season's over, and big plays will be critical. Bates with a chance for the interception there against Davis, unable to hold on, and then Aguiar does the job anyway.
Yeah.
Bob, the ball is about in the same spot after the down punt, just inside the 2. Harvey Williams with Wes Bender in the backfield, and the tight end Glover in motion. Williams to the 5. Interestingly, a former Chief Williams, leading rusher for the Raiders, and a former Raider, Marcus Allen, the leading runner for Kansas City.
And Dick, to complicate the problem here for the Raiders inside your own 10, there's only about 10% of the offense you can use. You're limited by the personnel. You don't want to take any chances. You want to be very, very careful, protect the ball, because between these two teams, the turnover has always produced the winner. You're very limited here if you're the Raiders.
Stedler from his own end zone has to get rid of it as he was being pressured hard. Derek Thomas.
Thomas drops off. He's got the tight end, or Harvey Williams, in coverage. Derek Thomas doesn't do a lot of covering, but an excellent job there of getting in front of Harvey Williams and knocking it away.
Neil Smith, meanwhile, who is the best buddy of Derek Thomas, was really putting a hard rush on Hostetler in the end zone. So Hostetler is 1 for 4 for 9 yards. Smith, in 5 games against the Raiders, has 9 sacks and 3 forced fumbles. They've not been able to control him. I notice you're starting to wear that Band-Aid on the bridge of your nose. It's really, and that'll be delay a game second time for Hostetler.
But you know what? I don't have a Christmas Band-Aid to go on my nose, and I didn't see Neil last night.
Delay by the offense, half the distance to the goal, still 3rd down.
Well, Houston had the penalty record 149 in the season 5 years ago, and the Raiders have tied that mark and undoubtedly will own that record. We're not saying it's dirty play, but they do make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes it hurts, but frankly, they have played through and won even with the penalties.
You're right. They do play on the edge.
Hostetler gets it away underneath to Tim Brown, and Brown fights for a first down up to the 14. Big play, a little delay. Brown underneath, 11 yards.
Tim Brown has shown his all-pro status in so many ways. Here he shows a lot of toughness. No play action fake, full protection. Brown releases underneath the safety. Now watch him drag Dale Carter. Tim Brown, not a big kid, but that was all second effort on Tim Brown's part to get the first down.
5 yards after he was hit by Carter.
Breathing space. Raiders now have a little breathing space.
2:50 left in the first quarter. 7-0 Kansas City. Hostetler throws it away. Glover covered by Derek Thomas.
Dick, let me make this observation. I've noticed here early in the game for the Raiders, they're going with a lot of 3-step drops. Generally, this is not a 3-step drop offense. They like Hostetler back in a 5-step. But he's been hit so much this year, sacked 38 times. It looks like they're trying to save him, go with the quick underneath stuff. I haven't really seen him set back in the 5 or 7-step drop yet.
The Raiders as a team have allowed 48 sacks. That's the 3rd worst record in protecting the quarterback in the league. Harvey Williams to the 20-yard line on 2nd and 10. He gains 6 before Neil Smith and Dan Saliamua can collaborate on the stop.
Harvey Williams has been a pleasant surprise for the Raiders. He was at Kansas City, got up to around 230. And it really slowed him down a great deal. Now at 205 pounds, he seems to be much quicker. And of course, he promised his offensive linemen, or he's already done it, he's buying them cowboy boots for the great season he's had.
Marcus waiting for his turn offensively. It's 3rd down and 3.5. Hostetler finds the rocket, and that'll be good for another first down to the 29. Jay Taylor made the stop. Ismael has become more and more an important facet of this Raider offense. That's his 33rd catch, and he's had 5 touchdowns.
In the last month, they seem to have discovered Rocket Ismail. But anytime you can get Rocket Ismail out on the corner with the ball in his hand, I mean, you like his chances. Such a shifty little player. And very strong. Jay Taylor is over there on the sideline. He is the man who made the tackle on Rocket Ismail.
From the inside the 2-yard line, the Raiders with another false movement there. The right guard or tackle could have been Skrepanak or Gogan. I think it was Gogan.
Before the ball was snapped, False start. Number 66 on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
And Kevin Gogan gets the Raiders into the record book. Number 150.
66 right in there. You wonder why this happens. I mean, Hostetler has a big, deep, resounding voice, and a lot of the penalties that have happened on the Raiders this year have been the little nitpicking kind, you know, just breaking out of their stance.
First down, 15 for Art Shell's Raiders. Hostetler to Glover, the tight end. Gets about 12 yards on that catch. Greg Minuski with the tackle.
There was a 5-step drop. Nice, good setup by Jeff Hostetler. Had time to throw. Glover runs a nice pattern. He's right here. He gets the outside release around Mickle. That means Minuski, the inside linebacker's got to come with him. Well thrown by Hostetler. Good, strong arm. Nice completion.
Second down and 3 as Glover. Of course, the Raider tight ends through the years have always been big producers.
Yes, former running backs.
Williams tripped up as he hit the line of scrimmage and dropped just shy of the first down near the 38-yard line.
You mentioned those tight ends. It started out with Billy Cannon, you know, an ex-running back. They converted him to tight end. Then, of course, probably
Raymond Chester.
Raymond Chester. He wasn't really a running back before, but they had Ethan Horton, who was a converted running back. They thought about Nick Bell, making him a tight end, but got hurt in camp. Glover is a former track athlete at Grambling.
Final seconds of this opening quarter.
And basketball player. Now David Whitmore to the sideline. Goodness.
His injury problems through the course of this year as well. So the Raiders won't run off a play. End of the quarter. First possession, Montana to Willie Davis, 47 yards. 7-0 KC. Welcome back to the Coliseum in Los Angeles. No rain since the game started. 7-0 Kansas City as we go to the second quarter with Bob Trumpy, Dick Enberg, and Jim Gray on the sidelines. And I know it's a big game. You start to shake about 2 hours. I thought we were going to have one of those quakes here the way you were bouncing around.
Well, I do like the pace, but I can't think of two teams in the AFC, maybe the NFL, that I'd rather see in a make-or-break situation, win and you're in, lose and you go home and watch, than these two teams because of their history. I mean, it's on grass. It's overcast. It's not going to be hot. I think this could end up being one of the best games these two teams have played. We get a chance to sit here and watch it.
That old bowl of spaghetti, that's the playoff picture, starting to clarify itself with the scores today. David Whitmore will go to the locker room to be attended. And as we open the second quarter, third and long yard, let's see whether that's against the Chiefs as they move before the snap. Nope.
False start. Left tackle, 5 yards, still third down.
Gerald Perry.
You know, watch the left tackle. His helmet will move right here. But you have a feeling that this happens so often that opponents go to the line of scrimmage and they might yell out a relative. Richard. And that offensive line will jump off sides and they'll get another penalty on the Los Angeles Raiders. Hey, whatever slight advantage you can get in a game of this magnitude, you will gladly take.
Certainly changes your strategic thinking. Goes from 3rd and 1 to 3rd and 6. Rocket to the right. Brown slot left. And Hostetler changing his play. Ducks away from trouble and finds Tim Brown at the 50. 17 more for the Raiders. Quite a drive that started back inside the 2-yard line.
Of course he finds Tim Brown. Last time these two teams met, the Raiders had 17 completions, 11 to tight ends and running backs, the other 6 to Tim Brown. He was the only wide receiver to catch a pass in that last game. So reliable. Has Jeff Hostetler's confidence, runs accurate patterns, and can certainly catch the ball.
And Hostetler's mobility in the pocket helping to buy some time. First down, dumps it off underneath, and Harvey Williams gets 5 to the 45. Raiders' first visit in Kansas City territory today. Aerial pictures are courtesy of the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, based in Carson, California. That's a sellout. They have redefined the capacity at the Coliseum. You see all the gray open areas. Those are all locked off, and so it's 67,000 is the capacity, and it's the first sellout of the season for the Raiders. Star-studded crowd. Second down 5. Hostetler. Brown, one-handed catch. Tim Brown. Oh, my.
Mark Collins, the man in coverage. Just a simple crossing route by Tim Brown. Watch the concentration. Keeps his eyes on it, brings it in. Still trying to make a bigger play.
3 today, 86 on the season for Tim Brown.
Look at the reflexes. Man, sticks that hand up there.
A year ago, he didn't know if he'd be here in Los Angeles. In fact, had a very rich offer from the Denver Broncos that was matched by the Los Angeles Raiders. Jeff Hostetler using a timeout.
Now, on that story, excuse me, tell you in a minute.
When you're in, and Kansas City leads 7-0 early in the second quarter. A reminder, Tuesday, NBC's great night of comedy to help you recover from the Christmas weekend. Don't miss Wings, then Gene Wilder and Something Wilder, Frasier, and a special Tuesday episode of the new hit Friends. It all starts Tuesday night at 8, 7 Central here on NBC. Tim Brown putting on his home show again for the Raiders. Setting a wide receiver record, and it's Rocket Ismail on a reverse. And it gets a few, but not what Los Angeles had hoped for, as the Chiefs not caught leaving home.
Yeah, you hope that you trick the defense, but you'll watch 51 Minuski. He sees it when the guard pulls Wisniewski. And there's a lot of help out there. Charles Mincy and also White. You're right. That's designed for a big play. First down yardage. Didn't get it.
Gain 5. Neil Smith working on his rib cage. And meanwhile, we got to report that safety David Whitmore of Kansas City. Questionable. He injured his right ring finger. Second and 5. Williams twisting for 3. It'll be third down and 2.
Dick, you mentioned Tim Brown. You know, if he'd be here last year, and I told us yesterday when we went to the Raiders practice, he stole or took both of his home and away jerseys with number 81 on. He said, I wasn't sure I'd be back here, and I wanted them as a memento of
my Raider years.
Yeah, my Raider years. He said, but I'm wearing them. You know, same one.
The Raiders matched the $11 million 4-year deal offered by the Denver Broncos. So the Broncos then went after the Chargers Miller. Inside and right to the sticks goes Harvey Williams. Greg Minuski led the defensive charge. It's a first down.
Yeah, Dick, this is an impressive drive by this Raider team. Remember, it started inside the 1-yard line. Inside the 2-yard line. They've done an excellent job being very conservative. They've made the big third down conversions. Good hard running there by Harvey Williams, and another third down conversion for a first down.
That brings up the 15th play of the drive. First down at the Kansas City 25. Rocket to the right. Brown to the left. Rathman and Williams behind Hostetler. And Hostetler sacked for the first time. Derek Thomas and Tracy Simeon.
Thomas began his career playing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and his first game was against Gerald Perry, number 71, and also Rathman helps on the pass protection there. You can't assign Tom Rathman to Derek Thomas. Rathman is an excellent player, but you got to put a big hat on Derek Thomas. Gerald Perry.
Thomas, who had 10 sacks coming in and 5 forced fumbles. And of course, Marty Schottenheimer loves that turnover table. They win one on the positive side, and Neil Smith offside. Free play for Hostetler, and they run him out of bounds inside the 35-yard line.
The Chiefs defense very late getting on the field. They weren't really in the proper alignment there.
Brett Cashman checking with his line judge, and it is offside Kansas City. Dave Adolph in the middle of your screen.
defensive coordinator, and you could see
offside. Number 90 on the defense. 5 yards. Still 2nd down.
there was a change in personnel by the Chiefs defense, and they just didn't get out in position in time. There's a Christmas Band-Aid.
They're selling big down in his hometown of New Orleans, aren't they?
Well, it looked like they even has rhinestones on that Christmas tree.
9-minute drive continues for the Raiders. Hostetler and Dale Carter will pick up a penalty. Use the left hand to push off on Alexander Wright. And Perry and Thomas exchanging holiday greetings.
That won't be the first time that happened, or the last time that happens today. It's just the first.
So the interference will bring a first down to the Raider camp.
Pass interference. Number 99 on the defense. First down.
The throw to Alexander Wright is amazing. He hasn't gotten many reception attempts, as you see Derek Thomas and Gerald Perry. First time these two guys met each other, Derek said, I didn't think I'd play in the league. Perry pushed him all over the field when he was playing for the Denver Broncos.
First down at the 24, trailing 7-0. 10 minutes remaining in the first half. Hostetler underneath. That's going to be near another first down as Rocket Ismail has the catch. Simeon and Saliamua with the stop.
Getting him more involved, Dick, little by little, just more involved. He just runs a little delay route underneath. If he can break one tackle there, Rocket can get away.
Isn't this a fascinating drive? So atypical of the Raiders, who have that long ball threat. That's how they stretch the field. They're just picking, getting a lot of yardage underneath. And look at the length of this drive. As inside the 20 this season, they have not been that successful. In fact, Cincinnati, Houston, Tampa Bay, and the Rams, all non-playoff teams, have scored fewer touchdowns in the red zone than the Raiders.
You mentioned the drive and how unique it is for the Los Angeles Raiders. It certainly protects the quarterback. It certainly keeps pressure and wears out the defense of the Kansas City Chiefs. And it's well orchestrated. I mean, they've done a lot of different things in this drive.
First down at the 14. It's a drive that started well back in the first quarter inside the Raider 2. Williams breaks a tackle. And he's to the 10-yard line. A gain of 4. Carter, along with William White on the stop, and Minuski got a piece of the action as well.
Now White is slow getting up.
And is Carter.
White is looking at his left forearm, wrist, not really sure. Carter still down on the ground. Whitmore already being x-rayed.
White appears to be okay. Carter, who was shaken earlier, is slower getting to his feet.
As the play comes out, there's Dale Carter. And White, looks like White was hit by his own man, 51 Minuski, on the left forearm as they're both trying to make the tackle. Big hitter. And here comes Whitmore. They need that locker room and x-ray machine a little closer to the Kansas City bench.
His injury to a finger, but they thought he might not return.
Look at Derek Thomas. This drive has an effect later in the game. You know, when you expend so much energy on a 15, 16, 17, 18 play drive, the end of the game, there's just nothing left in your gas tank.
17 plays, nearly 10 minutes the Raiders have had the ball. They've gone 88 yards to the 10 of Kansas City, trailing 7-0. You see the sports arena off in the distance behind the Coliseum, and there are some reports that this could be, for the Raiders, their last game in the Coliseum. Talk about moving elsewhere. One of the thoughts is a new stadium to be built at nearby Hollywood Park, near the Los Angeles Forum in Inglewood, California.
where is Hollywood Park? Which direction from here? Can you tell me?
From this angle, let's see. It would be off the picture to the right.
Down that way? In the same general area? Oh,
our blimp accommodating us, and with the gray skies today, the Hollywood Park is almost adjacent to the Los Angeles International Airport. That'll give those of you who have flown in and out of LAX here in this city some idea.
A little foggy, but Dick, I will certainly take your word for it. The fact that Hollywood Park is in that general direction.
2nd down and 6. Incredible drive considering the Raiders' reputation. Williams to the short side and knocked out of bounds at the 6-yard line. That'll be about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. Tracy Simeon from his middle linebacker position over to make the stop.
And look how slow Kansas City's getting back to the huddle. I mean, 18 play drives covering 10+ minutes. In fact, where are you out? You can't recover from this in a football game. I don't care how good a condition you're in. You're just not prepared for an 18-play, 11 or 12-minute drive.
Marty Schottenheimer makes 4 player changes. 3rd down, short 2. Hostetler just does get the snap in time. Gets away for a moment and then has to eat it at the 11. And may have fumbled, and if he did, it's Kansas City saying they had the ball. Greg Cragen, the veteran acquired from the Denver Broncos.
Dick, I think he just took it right away from Jeff Hostetler.
But we have a penalty against Kansas City for holding that will negate the turnover. So Hostetler searching for an open man, finally sacked, and apparently had fumbled it away, but the call is holding against the defense.
Holding, number 41 on the defense, half the distance to the goal, first down!
I guess that ring finger isn't bothering him that much. He's strong enough to hold. David Whitmore. 1st and goal at the 3.
How about that for a turnaround? Almost a fumble the other way after an 18-play drive and no points to 1st and goal now for the Raiders.
Now that would have taken the sap right out of the tree, wouldn't it?
Absolutely.
To have a long drive end that way. Instead, the Raiders with a chance to tie it. 4 shots from the 3-yard line. Williams gets maybe a half yard. Good submarining effort by the Chiefs line, and Derek Thomas and Darren Mickle there for the stop.
Well, this is, if you're a Raider fan, you've got to go for the touchdown here. I think Art Shell, no matter what happens with this long a drive, 3 points is not going to reward this team enough. I mean, this is 4-down area. You have to reward them.
8 minutes left in the first half. 20th play of the drive. Hostetler. Ooh, batted around in the end zone, incomplete. Lots of hands raking at that one. Jamie Williams, the veteran former Oiler and 49er, deep in the end zone.
Play action fake. Harvey Williams is also a receiver in this. You see Hostetler looking down the field. Watch Harvey Williams. He gets his hands up, tips it just a little bit, and it falls right short of Jamie Williams.
I think it was intended for Williams, but
it was. I agree with you. I don't think Harvey Williams ran the right pattern.
That was both Williams there. I think it was Jamie, the tight end, that was the target, and Harvey got in the way. 3rd and goal. Raiders 4 for 5 on 3rd down in this half. Hostetler on a keeper, then throws it away. It's a live ball and covered by Harvey Williams.
What was that?
Hostetler in a playground scramble, trying to get something more than a field goal out of the drive, almost threw the ball to the Chiefs.
This is going to be an option. There is no question about that. That's going to be an option. And Derek Thomas disrupts the play, and Jeff Hostetler almost throws it away.
Loss of 9, and here's Jeff Jager, who has kicked 9 in a row.
Oh, what a disappointment for the Raiders.
Jeff missed a couple of key field goals in the loss at Kansas City, 13-3, this from 30. drive that seemed to last half the afternoon ends in 3 points for the Raiders.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Domino's Pizza. Call now and order Domino's new buffalo wings, and we'll deliver them with your favorite pizza. But it's gotta be good. It's gotta be Domino's.
Well, it's not often you'll have 95-yard drive. They went from their own 2 all the way to the Kansas City 3 and get only a field goal.
Yeah, Dick, for the effort the offense put forth on that drive, major disappointment. Yeah, you got the 3 points. Major disappointment.
7-3 Kansas City with 7 minutes remaining in the half. That was a 22-play drive, officially 86 yards because they lost the yardage on the lateral. 12 minutes and 14 seconds. They had the ball almost a full quarter. Jager's kick to Danon Hughes at the 10. And the former baseball outfielder does not get to the 20-yard line.
Here's Derek Thomas. He blows up the play on the option. Why this play is called on here is beyond me, but there is no question that this is set up to be an option. Hostetler tries to make the best of it, almost makes a major mistake.
Penalty on the kickoff return against the Chiefs that will take them down probably inside the 10-yard line.
Holding during the return, number 53 by the receivers. Be a 10-yard penalty, half the distance to the goal, first down.
Rick Hamilton guilty. The ball marked just inside the 10. Timeout, 6:53 remaining in the first half.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Buick, makers of the concept car you can drive, the 1995 Riviera. By Compaq. Look for the new Presario computers for that small business you call home. By AT&T. We help put your world within reach. And by RCA, changing entertainment again.
Built in the early 1920s, the Coliseum in Los Angeles, the scene of so many important athletic events, home of several professional football teams, Rams, Raiders, LA Express, the LA Dons. Marcus Allen on first down, out to the 14-yard line, a gain of 5 before Anthony Smith and Greg Biekert can make the stop.
Well, now Kansas City's offensive responsibility here, give their defense a long rest. You got to set up for the rest of this game here, make sure your defense is still there and functional in the fourth quarter when they face a 12-minute drive, 22 plays. The defense has got to sit over there on the sideline for quite a while to recover.
On 2nd and 5, it's Allen again, and he stopped after short yardage. Bring up about 3rd and 3. Winston Moss played at Miami of Florida. Bernie Kosar and Moss and that great team won the national championship in '84. Make the stop. Marcus, the workhorse. Talking with him yesterday. He just put it football terms. Smash, mouth, no fair dodging.
No fair dodging. Take the pain.
Third and 3. Montana. A little roll and the throw to the fullback Anders, and that appears to be good enough, or it's going to be close depending on the mark. At the 20, it would be a first down if indeed he hit the 20-yard line. Another set of downs for the Chiefs.
A very conservative call here by Kansas City. Inside their own 20 and 30, they go to the little underneath stuff, take no chances whatsoever. Anders does a good job of hanging onto the football and picking up the first down.
Generous mark.
Very generous.
Yard away from the century mark for Montana. Allen. And they are consistently running on first down and have enjoyed good success to the 23-yard line. As in comes the rookie Greg Hill, who's the #1 Chiefs pick out of Texas A&M and has contributed 523 yards rushing this year, just under 4-yard average.
Learning from an excellent teacher, don't you think, Greg Hill? He can emulate what Marcus Allen does to accomplish what he's accomplished, to be a fine running back in the NFL.
In your dreams to be drafted on a team where you can learn from a Marcus Allen. Hill gets only 2. It'll be 3rd and 5.
Chiefs choice here started the game offensively. On first down, they've gone 8 runs and 2 passes. So they're taking the conservative approach, trying to threaten the line of scrimmage, control the line of scrimmage as best they can, and Marcus has been a big part of that.
7-3 Kansas City on a Montana to Willie Davis 47-yard touchdown pass. Paul Hackett, the offensive coordinator, has called down the play. 3rd and 5. Montana on the slant, good for a first down to the 34. The veteran Eric Martin, acquired after the season began from the New Orleans Saints, who had released a 9-year veteran. That's his 551st catch.
Watch this big body. 215 pounds inside line of Washington. Good strength. All he's looking for is enough for the first down. No big play here. Just throw it in my chest. I'll catch it. We'll take the first down.
Boy, another injured defender for Kansas City, Sally Amua, limping off. First down. Hill trying to get around the corner and toppled at the 38-yard line. 2:55 left in the half. Let's go to New York and Greg Gumbel.
All right, Dick, in San Diego, after a Pittsburgh field goal tied the game at 3, this is rookie Andre Coleman. Second time this season he's done this for the Chargers. 90-yard kickoff return. This battle of division champion takes a turn towards San Diego. The Chargers lead at 10-3, just over 4 minutes to play in the first half. Dick?
All right, Greg, the rookie from Kansas State with a big return for the Chargers. Here it's the veteran Montana leading Kansas City, and Hill, the rookie, to the 40-yard line. A gain of just a little over a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and 4.
That's fine. 3rd and 4. For Joe Montana in this offense, they got a lot of stuff in the books for 3rd and 5. They'll take that.
He'll let the clock tick down to the 2-minute warning. So as expected, low scoring at the Coliseum. Winner goes on to the playoffs. It all begins at 3:30 tomorrow afternoon Eastern Time. Vlade Divac of the Lakers. They've won 12 of the last 15. Seattle, Denver, and the Knicks and Bulls tomorrow on NBC. Montana on 3rd down. Underneath he goes. And drilled as Anders shy of the first down. Terrific pursuit by the Raiders to deny. And it was James Trapp who made the hit on the opening kickoff, who finished off the tackle.
Kimball Anders runs all the way around the offensive formation and making himself a receiver. Slips up through the middle. A little crowd up there. Watch. There's the pressure on Joe Montana. Nolan Harrison right in his chest. But Anders makes a nice catch. But James Trapp, again, pressure on Joe Montana. James Trapp, a big hit to deny the first down.
Tim Brown back to return the punt of Aguiar with 1:15 left in the half. The Raiders did not use a timeout. They've spent one earlier, remember. Brown, ever dangerous, to the 26-yard line. Tackled by Tommy Stowers, who was just activated by Kansas City. And we have a timeout.
40 yards on the punt by Louis Aguiar.
Welcome back to Los Angeles as we look down at the Coliseum. One of the world's most enduring symbols, the Goodyear Blimp Eagle, has been providing the beautiful aerial pictures today. Boy, you see all those houses down there. You wonder how Santa services all the requests. Boy, is he going to be busy tonight. I understand they've already picked up a little blip on their radar.
Is that right?
Yeah, up at the North Pole, I guess, a time difference. They're getting ready to make the big move.
He has his ways, doesn't he?
Dreams come true tonight, and for these two teams, it will not be a very happy Christmas Eve for the loser. They're out of the playoffs. The winner advances. Yeah, that prayerful pose is more than appropriate. The Raiders have the ball at the 25. They're 25 with 64 seconds left in the half. Stay tuned. Domino's Pizza halftime report with all the scores and highlights of games today and try to straighten out the playoff picture best they can. Harvey Williams traced down by Derek Thomas. Thomas looking for one of those strip jobs there. You could feel the crowd starting to pick up as if to shout to say, watch out, he's coming behind you.
Here's Derek Thomas coming from behind. Harvey stops dead in his tracks. And then Derek Thomas at 238 pounds has the ability to catch up and almost strip that ball away.
37 seconds left, and Hostetler down the field, and he's got a man open, the tight end. Andrew Glover all the way to the 45-yard line. And time called with 32 seconds left. So now Hostetler has a couple of plays with which to try to get into field goal range.
Here's the matchup, Whitmore and Andrew Glover. Whitmore, not a very good coverage player, a good tackler. Fine throw by Hostetler, nice catch by Glover. Art Shell on the sideline like that last play. Kansas City came with a 2 deep man under. Well read. The safeties rotate. Here's Whitmore and here's Andrew Glover, and he runs up the middle. What you're trying to do is isolate the tight end on someone. It works perfectly. The safeties rotate out. They're paying attention to the wide receivers. This is a magnificent throw by Hostetler. An excellent catch by Glover for a nice pickup.
And Glover with his third catch. He leads the Raiders with 46 yards. And a reminder, the Domino's Pizza halftime report with Greg and Joe. They'll analyze the entire picture. What a season. Paul Tagliabue, the commissioner of the National Football League, you couldn't have orchestrated a season that's come down to so many important games on the final weekend. Hostetler screen. Oh, Neil Smith almost picked off the screen pass, and he was heading in the other direction.
Kansas City came with a double corner blitz. Whitmore and Mark Collins. Watch them come from the outside here. They're coming right here. Look at that. Oh, man. How did Neil Smith miss that one?
Well, that was short range and thrown a little hard for old Neil. He has an interception this year to go with his 11.5 sacks. 27 seconds left in the half. Jager's season long is 51 yards, so they'd like to get at least to the 35 as Hostetler in trouble, gets it away, and a pickup of 4 to Harvey Williams to the 41-yard line, and time called. The last timeout for the Raiders. 18 seconds left.
Great job by Hostetler there. Darren Mickle was all over his back. Here's Mickle right here, gets the outside rush. And watch the job that Hostetler does. He's got the outside rush on the stunt. Hostetler steps up, still able to make the completion. Big, strong, tough quarterback.
Yeah, you get picture impressions, and when you see Hostetler just the way the uniform fits, he doesn't look like a big man, but he's 215, 220 pounds, and able to ward off the charge of those big defenders.
Yeah, he's big-legged, lifts weights with the offensive line, in superb condition. He's had to be with all of the hits he's taken here the last couple of years.
Well, an NFL doubleheader today and an NBA twin bill tomorrow. NBA Showtime tips it off at 3:30 Eastern, and then you'll see a rematch of the most stunning playoff upset in NBA history. Seattle and Denver go at it in the Mile High City. That to be followed by the Knicks and the Bulls. The last decade, that says a lot in the National Basketball Association. Two great stars in Ewing and Pippen matched up there. Doubleheader tomorrow, NBA. 18 seconds left in the half, third down, and a long 5 for Hostetler. He drills it, complete to Brown, out of bounds to stop the clock. They're in field goal range. First down, 12 seconds.
Kansas City came with a blitz again. Excellent protection by the Los Angeles Raiders, and Brown runs the deep out. Mincy is the man looking at him, but he breaks right underneath the clearing guy, the outside receiver. Well done by the Los Angeles Raiders.
There's a temptation here for Art Shell with 12 seconds left and no timeouts to go for the field goal. He's not. He's going to try to get one more play, get closer, or maybe even get something bigger.
I noticed that James Jett came in the lineup. They like him on crossing routes, and with his speed, he can either get to the sideline or the goal line.
At this spot, it would be about a 45-yard field goal. Hostetler going to be intercepted. He's got an open field. Check that. Mark Collins, the veteran from the New York Giants, and Collins turns it around. Interception, touchdown, Kansas City. 78 yards. So Shell had the 3, decided to go for one more play, and it becomes 6 points to the other side.
Hostetler is in shock. Somebody didn't run the right pattern here. From behind the defense, he's looking downfield. His arm is hit. There's no question about that, but I don't see any receiver out there.
Both Taylor and Collins were in better position than a Raider jersey.
It looked like Rocket Ismail was out there. And Derek Thomas, again, his presence felt, puts the pressure on Hostetler that results in the interception.
Try for point. Lynn Elliott knocks it through. And from what appeared to be a 7-6 halftime score, it goes to 14-3. The final play of the half, a 78-yard touchdown return by Mark Collins, his second career interception for a score. And yesterday, Marty said one of the men that has really played extraordinarily well all year long that's received so little credit, Mark Collins. And to the dismay of Jeff Hostetler, his pass becomes a touchdown the other way. We go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
This is the Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
All right, Dick, welcome back to our studio, everyone. Greg Gumbel along with Joe Gibbs. Once again, a Merry Christmas to you and yours. Let's run down the scores for you. What an unbelievable ending to the first half. The Kansas City Chiefs have taken a 14-3 lead over the Los Angeles Raiders. Winner goes to the playoffs. The loser goes home. And you and I were thinking that the Raiders had recovered pretty well from that first touchdown pass of Montana and were playing well up until that last play.
I was just getting ready to say they kind of dominated there. Although the stats in this game have been very even, Greg, I think they both played pretty much even. I would say this, though, that Montana normally gets great protection. The Raiders been knocking him around. Haas has had trouble with protection this year. He's been pretty good. Got a hand in his face on that last one, but I'd say a big mistake there by him. And, of course, the other one, he needs a little practice on the option down there.
Yeah. As the afternoon wears on, let's keep that play in mind. 14-3, Kansas City leads it at halftime. In San Diego, the Chargers hosting the Steelers. The Steelers lead this game 13-10 in the second quarter. This battle between two division champions, and the Steelers lead it by 3. In Houston, the Jets and the Oilers. The Oilers lead the Jets 10-7 in the second quarter. In Denver, the Broncos hosting the Saints. New Orleans leads it 17-6 in the second. And in Anaheim, the Rams hosting the Redskins. It's the Redskins by a field goal. Now, earlier today, battle royal between the Patriots and the Bears, won by New England 13-3. The final score. The Patriots beat the Chicago Bears, and there is the shovel, the New England Patriots lucky symbol. Bears going for the tying field goal here, down 6-3. Kevin Butler's attempt is blocked by Troy Barnett, New England's first blocked field goal since '89. Butler later missed a 36-yard attempt. 6-3 in the fourth. Drew Bledsoe to Leroy Thompson. 3 yards in the score with 2.5 minutes to play. 13-3 Patriots. And it's pretty traditional in New England now. Bill Parcells doused as the Pats celebrate their first playoff appearance. Here's Bill Parcells after the game.
Just told him I was proud of him and that I'd had my butt kicked in this stadium a couple of times, and I was grateful that they could help me feel a little bit better about coming here.
I've said all along, I'd give anything to be in this position today. And, I never thought I'd see it happen based on the way things had gone the last 5 or 6 years. But, we've been able to hang together. We got a long way to go, but we're no longer the doormats of the league.
Doormats, they are not. Their first playoff appearance since '86. 5 places clinched in the AFC. The 6th team will either be the Raiders or the Kansas City Chiefs, whoever wins the game that's in progress. Now, Joe, one thing about this game, it wasn't a typical Patriots win. Bledsoe wasn't throwing the ball with great success all over the field today.
No, it wasn't. Before we get to the football, they're getting better at the Gatorade bath.
Yes, they are.
They missed him the first week, Parcells. I'm glad he's getting that now. I'd say this, really. The Bears probably have one positive, and that's defense. They play extremely good defense going into the playoffs. I'd say that really the Pats only have one negative, and that's rushing the football, and they did a better job of that today.
Yeah.
And I'd say they got Bledsoe which is big, big plus. I think one of the best young quarterbacks I think I've seen.
Yeah, New England hits the playoffs with a 7-game winning streak. They win at 13-3. In Cleveland, the Browns over the Seahawks 35-9. The Browns will host a wild card game in the first round of the playoffs. In the Meadowlands, the Giants beat the Dallas Cowboys today 15-10, but the Giants are eliminated from postseason play. The Cowboys started Troy Aikman in this game, but Dave Brown, the story here, over the middle to Mike Sherrard, turns it into a 49-yard touchdown. And Mike Sherrard's going to play Santa Claus at the end of this. Up the steps and a football for some lucky fan. The Giants win at 15-10, but results later on eliminate the Giants from postseason play. But they finished the season with a 6-game winning streak. Not a bad job by Dan Reeves and company. In Tampa, Green Bay secured its position in the postseason, 34-19 over the Bucs today. And Mike Holmgren's Packers needing a win for a playoff spot. Brett Favre and Sterling Sharp connected on 3 touchdown passes today. This one, 22 yards to give the Packers a 21-6 lead. Sharp's third, his league-leading 18th of the season, set a Packers team record. Favre broke a club record with his 33rd of the year. The final was 34-19. Here's the NFC playoff picture. San Fran and Dallas with the first-round byes, and then 4 teams out of the NFC Central. Arizona, a loser at Atlanta today, and the score there was 10-6 in favor of the Falcons. Buffalo and Indianapolis, the Colts win it by a score of 10-9. And in Cincinnati, the Bengals tie it with a field goal with 3 seconds to play and then win it as time expires on a Pelfrey 54-yarder. The Bengals over the Eagles 33-30. And we'll send you back to the Coliseum for the second half of the Raiders and the Chiefs after this and your local news.
The Domino's Pizza NFL Live Halftime Report, brought to you by Domino's Pizza. When it's gotta be good and it's gotta be now, it's gotta be Domino's.
Welcome back, everyone. Greg Gumbel, Mike Ditka, Joe Gibbs. We'll get you highlights of the early games as well as update you on the late game scores in our next segment. Right now, however, let's run through the games that are final and show you the playoff picture. The big game today at Soldier Field in Chicago. The Bears and the New England Patriots, and the Patriots win it by a score of 13-3. We're talking about this game, gentlemen. He said this is a typical Bill Parcells game, even though it was an ugly game to watch.
Well, it was. It was a game of mistakes, though. That's kind of unusual for this late in the season. Missed field goals. Chicago not being able to move the ball on offense, but I think New England's doing what it takes. There's probably a lot of teams right now saying, hey, these guys right now are on a roll.
Yeah, I think the great thing about it took some pressure off of Bledsoe. He didn't have to have the big game. He started out hot, then he kind of cooled off. They ran the ball better. Not great, but they ran it better. But their defense has played outstanding. Their defense has not given up a touchdown, I think, in the second half in the last 7 weeks, so that's pretty impressive.
Both these teams make postseason play. The New England Patriots qualify and still have an opportunity to win the AFC East. Here's a look at the playoff picture. Pittsburgh, Cleveland, San Diego, New England, and Miami are in, with the winner of the Raiders and the Kansas City Chiefs being the 6th and final participant in the AFC playoffs. So New England with a chance to win the AFC East should the Miami Dolphins lose to Detroit tomorrow night. In Cleveland, the Browns guaranteed themselves to be home hosting a wild card playoff game. They beat the Seattle Seahawks today 35-9. At the Meadowlands, the Dallas Cowboys started Troy Aikman, then replaced him early in the first half with Rodney Peete. The Giants won it by a score of 15-10. And the New York Giants were then eliminated from possible postseason play because the Green Bay Packers went down to Tampa and beat the Bucs by a score of 34-19. The Packers are hitting the playoffs on a roll. They have won 3 straight, and they still have an opportunity to win the NFC Central Division. Here's a look at the playoff positions in the NFC. San Francisco and Dallas have claimed their respective divisions and have a first-round bye. Minnesota, Detroit, Green Bay, and Chicago all from the NFC Central, and there will be no surprises in this playoff scenario, will there?
Well, these teams have all played each other. I mean, right now it doesn't favor Chicago because they lost twice to Minnesota, they lost twice to Green Bay, and they split with Detroit. So they got a rough road to hoe, but still they know the teams. They ought to be able to play them pretty darn good.
Yeah, what do you think, Joe?
Well, I think, first of all, to get 4 in one division in there is very unusual, and I think it takes something a little bit away from the playoffs. I know I hated to play that same team again, but hey, they're in, and I think they've earned their way.
Yeah, if we're just going to invite the NFC Central to the postseason, should have done it earlier in the year. Arizona and Atlanta playing down in Atlanta. The Falcons won it by a score of 10-6, stopping the Cardinals at the goal line on the final play of the game. The Cardinals eliminated from any postseason possibilities. Buffalo and Indianapolis. The Colts beat the Bills by a 10-9 score, and Indianapolis finishes at 8-8. The Bills at 7-9. Philadelphia at Cincinnati. Remarkable finish. The Bengals tied the game with a Doug Pelfrey field goal and then won it as time expired on another Pelfrey field goal. And our NFL Live halftime activities will continue.
A critical decision made by the Raiders in the final seconds of the first half leads to an interception by Kansas City, 14-3. Back after these messages from your local station. At the half, the Chiefs, who scored early on a touchdown pass, Montana to Davis, get a touchdown on the final play of the first half from Mark Collins. It was Collins who was acquired, free agent from the Giants, when they lost Albert Lewis to the Raiders. And Marty, almost predicting what might happen today, said Collins has been his best defensive back.
Yeah, said you like his preparation. Now watch this play, because it's from the all-22, and at the initial stages it looks like just a poorly run pattern and a bad throw by Jeff Hostetler, resulting in the interception. Collins is the one who picks it off, runs it back down for the touchdown at the end of the first half. But actually, when you go back and look, it starts with protection. Neil Smith gets around Skrepenak. He alters the direction of the pass, the velocity of the pass. Collins there to make the catch. And you're right, Dick, you call it. That crucial decision to try for about 8 or 10 more yards results in the 7-point turnaround.
And Smith up into the face mask of the quarterback, and in slow motion that could have been a penalty, but it happened so quickly, no flag. And even when you looked at the all-22, Bob, it didn't look as if it had been caught by a Raider, they wouldn't have gotten out of bounds.
I agree with you. It was a strange call, but there was a duo formation out there, and somebody ran the wrong pattern, and then you add to that the lack of protection, and it results in the 7 points the other way.
And it's, as we look at the Coors Light halftime statistics, it's the only turnover of the half, and it results in a touchdown for Kansas City, as it was evenly played, though the score would be misleading in that regard, wouldn't it?
Yeah, lost in those numbers is a 12-minute drive by the Raiders that resulted in just 3 points. So there's not been a bouncing back and forth here. They're just, look, Albert Lewis going to Jeff Hostetler saying, hey, come on, we got the whole second half here.
The Raiders will get the ball first, and one would think a very critical possession early in the second half.
No question, Dick. They got down to the 2-yard line, and with a problem, had to settle for a field goal. Yes, they've got to get the ball into the end zone here to get back in this football game.
Rocket ready to turn on his Jets as Aguiar kicks it off, and second half underway. 30 minutes from the playoffs for one of these teams. And Rocket able to go to the 23-yard line. Let's go down to Jim Gray.
Okay, thank you very much, Dick. I spoke to Art Shell coming off the field. He said he felt very badly. He was just trying to get a couple of extra yards, and he should have kicked the field goal with the 12 seconds left. Said he told his team at halftime it was his fault. They've got to recover, that they played very well, basically dominated the game, and that they shouldn't be in this position just because they had given up 2 plays. He said the mood at halftime was very mad when he came out, and he says we usually play best when we're mad. Dick?
All right, thanks, Jim. And it starts poorly for the Raiders. A holding call on the kickoff return that will take the ball back to the 12-yard line for Hostetler.
That's one of the things I like about Art Shell. He's willing to second-guess himself. He is proud enough and confident enough that he can say, I'm just trying to make it a little easier, and I didn't expect the protection to break down. I mean, pretty simple play, not executed, and the result 7 points the other way.
Now the Raiders, who had that impressive long drive in the first half to get 3, take over deep at their 12. Hostetler has to throw it away. The sellout crowd, the only sellout for the Raiders all season long, quieted by the developments of the final seconds of the half.
Again, Derek Thomas inside Andrew Glover, the tight end. Thomas normally lines up on the other side. This time they put him on the right side for a little pressure. Did you see the look on on Jeff Hostetler's face. They haven't recovered from that interception. The halftime has not helped.
Veteran from West Virginia, took the Giants to the Super Bowl. Filling in for Phil Simms. Oh, almost caught from behind, gets the pass away, and drilled was Rathman. Greg Manusky, one of the tacklers, and he's slow getting up.
Yeah, Rathman's on his way back to the huddle. Manusky's not sure what state he's in. But watch how long Hostetler holds on to the ball here. He has been hit and hurried a lot in the first half, and now he's going to take it on himself. He hangs onto that football. Bang! Manusky on Rathman.
Pass incomplete.
Well, without that hit, that's a catch.
3rd and 10. Manusky trying to clear the cobwebs. Hostetler in a crowd. Incomplete to Tim Brown. Broken up by David Whitmore. So 3 incompletes, and the punting team on for the Raiders.
Nothing worse could happen to the Los Angeles Raiders in this situation. The way the first half ends, and then it starts this way. Total zone by the Kansas City Chiefs. Brown is trying to pick up enough yardage for the first down. Whitmore does a good job of knocking that ball away from Tim Brown.
Jeff Gossett, only his 2nd punt attempt. Dale Carter at the 43 of Kansas City. The Chiefs should come out with pretty good field position for their first possession. Gossett. Carter at the 38. And good coverage by the Raiders down at the 35. A 51-yard kick and a -2 on the return. We'll be back with Joe Montana at the controls.
The NFL on NBC is brought to you by Geo, inviting you to get to know Geo Prison, available only at your Chevrolet Geo dealers. By Coors Light, naturally brewed, reach for the silver bullet, the pure taste of the Rockies. By Taco Bell, tacos, burritos, and nachos, cross the border. And by MasterCard. MasterCard, it's more than a credit card, it's smart money.
Welcome back. For the winner, it will be a happy new year. First round of the playoffs, January 1st, a week from tomorrow. The Raiders trail 14-3, Kansas City's first possession. Second half starts at the 35. And it starts the same way that the Chiefs began the game, with Marcus Allen running the ball. Flag is down. Anthony Smith makes the tackle. Red Cashin with the information.
During the run, number 76 on the offense. 10 yards, still first down.
John Alt, the big tackle. He loves fishing so much. It's interesting, these personalized license plates that the athletes have, and they usually relate to the sport. Alt says muskie.
Muskie. I'm a muskie fisherman myself. I know the attraction of fishing for muskie. You're all in there grabbing a hold of somebody.
Got away. The fish got away there for a -10. Throw to Kimball Anders, breaking tackles and plowing out to the 37-yard line. They had him for about a 3-yard gain, and he winds up gaining 13.
He breaks the tackle of Rob Fredrickson, number 53, a rookie player, but a very sure-handed tackler. Watch what happens. Watch 53. Runs a nice stiff arm, runs through that one, runs through the tackle of Albert Lewis. Anders done a lot for this offense. His leading receiver on screens, the little crossing routes on the flare.
Joe Valerio comes in as a tight end. Second down and long 7. Off play action, Montana going deep for Davis. And Patrick Bates had one hand on it.
Bates should have made a better attempt to gather himself and make that interception. The man was covered. Watch, Dick. I think Bates can set himself to make the interception here. He's not really bothered. McDaniel is the closest man. If he kind of takes one more step, I think he's got the interception. Willie Davis was the intended receiver from Kansas City.
Yeah, his teammate did kind of drive him off the ball.
A little bit of a push.
Third down and a long 7 for Montana. Blake Dawson, the extra wide receiver, and timeout called by Montana.
Will it be allowed?
Delay by the offense. 12 yards, still third down.
When Montana pulled away from the center, it looked to me like he was motioning to the official that he wanted a timeout. Why Red Cashion didn't give it to him, I don't know.
Well, probably Marty Schottenheimer, with hindsight, says, hey, good call. They save a timeout.
Save the timeout.
We'll take the 5-yard penalty here.
Watch him step away from it. Does he make any motion? No, he makes no motion to the referee.
So he realized he just wasn't going to get the play off and swallowed the 5.
And saves the timeout. Your point is well taken.
3rd and a dozen. Montana has a man wide open and overshoots J.J. Burden. Oh, much like the touchdown that started the game where Willie Davis had lost the Raider defense. Burden flying in free territory.
Lionel Washington in coverage. He tries for the bump and falls down. This is blitz by the Raiders. It was picked up by Kansas City. He had plenty of time and he realizes, no, I've overthrown him. Joe hasn't missed many.
3rd time that Aguiar has been asked to punt. Tim Brown back inside the 30. Dying spiral toward the sidelines and kicks out right at the 35-yard line. Timeout, 12:49 left in the 3rd. Kansas City in the lead.
1st and 10 Raiders.
Young quarterbacks dread the blitz. Veterans salivate when they see this.
You're absolutely right. Motion here by Dawson. Albert Lewis goes. Fredrickson. You're also going to see Bates coming on the blitz. It's picked up beautifully by the Kansas City offensive line. Nice pocket here for Montana. He recognizes what he's got, the blitz. All I got to do is make the completion. No, I didn't overthrow him. Please, let me do that again.
Well, that was critical. That could have been 21-3. The best starting field position for the Raiders today at their own 35. Sun breaking through the overcast. And they go back to the run and Harvey Williams and the center of the Chiefs defense there to deny. Sally Mua back in the game, part of the tackle. You see the other scores come rolling through. Browns, a great season for Belichick. The Giants, Reeves. What a topsy-turvy year for the Giants. Tampa Bay had it going, but Green Bay's in the playoffs. Boy, that Central Division's going to have, what, 4 representatives in the playoffs.
It's possible.
Hostetler being chased by Mickle. Didn't see him, and down he goes. And there's Darren Mickle at 284 pounds chasing down a pretty fast-footed quarterback.
2nd sack for Kansas City. Mickle is up here, comes from around Gerald Perry. And he keeps coming too. Pressure initially by Neil Smith, and then, you're right, Mickle for his size running down Jeff Hostetler. That's very impressive.
3rd down, a loss of about a yard on the play. So it's 3rd down and about the full 10, about 9.5. Mickle, who played at Florida in his 3rd year. And Hostetler's going to have to hurry. Just did beat the clock. Couple of fans on the field and incomplete the throw to the Rocket.
Now what are they going to do? They're going to allow the play? There is some nitwit out there and the police are out there. Are they going to allow the play?
This is the second such occasion in the last couple of minutes. A gentleman came out during the last commercial break and had to be escorted away.
Red Cashion is going to allow the play now. That's twice in the second half. Raiders come out 3 downs and out, Dick.
And some of these spectators will spend Christmas Eve in a rather undesirable spot, I would think. So Art Shell, who saw things blown apart on the final play of the first half, touchdown interception by Mark Collins, 78 yards, and nothing cooking offensively in 2 possessions to start the second half. Gossett. catch for Dale Carter at the Kansas City 23. 41-yard Gossett punt. Timeout with 11:28 left in the third. Jeff Gossett, you see the fan on the field, not distracting the Kansas City defense. Wild Card Sunday on the 1st of January 95, and when you're in, the theme of this game. Kansas City in front 14-3. A lot of time left in this third quarter. Chiefs ball, 24-yard line. Montana changing plays. Marcus Allen. Only a yard.
Dick, Raider defense got to start taking some chances here, and we saw that in the previous drive that Kansas City had going for the blitz. They need a turnover. They need a turnover psychologically to get back in the game.
310-pound Chester McLaughlin, number 91, stacking up the play in his third season out of Clemson. Actually, second full year. He was injured most of his rookie season. Goes to the Pro Bowl, and he learned from a master, Howie Long. In fact, he lived with Long as a rookie.
Yeah, Howie taught him how to jump off sides very well.
He'll appreciate that. Play action, Montana wide open in the flat is Anders. Winston Moss saw Anders go by, and by the time the Raiders catch up, Kansas City is at the LA 45, 30-yard play.
Dick, for the most part, Kansas City today has run all aspects of their offense. Wayne Martin, 85, goes in motion. No coverage here. Winston Moss, 99, the closest man. I mean, again, the Kansas City offense functions best when it spreads the ball around. We have seen a wide array of offense today by Kansas City.
Anders with another catch, the leading receiver on the season. He's working close to 70 grabs for the year. Now back to the running game. Marcus Allen for about 3. And Anders returns. Played at Houston, where Andre Ware was his quarterback, and the run and shoot with the Cougars.
Yeah, so the shoot part of the offense, Anders didn't have to learn, but he admitted that he had to learn how to block. A little pass protection for Super Joe.
By the way, MacArthur Lane had the 66 catches for the Kansas City record that Anders is after. Montana, being pressured hard by Anthony Smith, had to unload. Incomplete to Anders.
Nolan Harrison. Actually, I think that was Nolan Harrison, Dick, that was. This is the rollout. Here's Harrison right here, and it's a bootleg by Joe Montana. You're hoping to get some influence on the defensive end. Harrison does not buy it. You know, that's almost the play that they scored on in Kansas City. Very similar. So they tried it again, and Raiders defensive line has learned.
3rd and 7. Into those baby blues of Joe Montana. Over the middle, and an open receiver again. And it is J.J. Burton this time. And a first down inside the 30. 13 yards for the former Oregon track star. His first catch today.
Seldom have I seen an offensive coordinator have such a great day calling the right play against the right defense. Paul Hackett is having one of those days. I mean, he catches the Raiders again in man coverage, and he calls the perfect play. They run a little pick on Albert Lewis. J.J. Burton makes the catch. Seldom do you have a run like this.
8:50 left in the third. Kansas City trying to build on a 14-3 lead. Reverse. Hill, the rookie, one man away from a touchdown. Derek Hoskins saved a score. Close to another first down.
Again, another page out of the playbook. The fake to Allen up the middle. A good block by Allen on Greg Beaker, 54. And Greg Hill does a nice job of just weaving ever so little to get all he can out of that run.
Hill could taste touchdown. He scored just one this season. His rush for over 1,000. And he's the back of the future in Kansas City. 2nd and about a half yard. Keith Cash returning to the lineup. The throw to the end zone, incomplete. And it appeared Danon Hughes got away with a push-off on Patrick Bates.
Dick, I agree with you. Looked like the closest man defending was falling down, and Dana Hughes was trying to keep his balance to stay on his feet. And it was Terry McDaniel who was on the ground, and Bates was on the inside of the coverage. Very close. Well, there's enough contact there by Terry McDaniel too now.
Schottenheimer looking for another touchdown as he goes for the big play on 2nd and short. Now it's 3rd and 1, and Montana calls time.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
Joe, he knows the routine.
Yes, he does. Now, the other thing, a guy like Montana in a game like this, I don't know that there's ever been a better quarterback for one main reason. The last bad play, he's forgotten. The last good play, he's forgotten. He plays the game, this play only.
A lot of talk about whether Joe will be back with Kansas City next year, and that could this be his last game if the Chiefs lose and are out of the playoffs. But everyone we talk to, including Marty Schottenheimer, they all feel that Joe will play another year unless the Chiefs should go on through the playoffs and win the big prize again.
I think that's the key. I think if he gets another Super Bowl, he still has the fire. And that's why he came back with Kansas City, is he still has the fire. So if he wins the Super Bowl, I think there's a better chance of him retiring than if they lose and don't go to the Super Bowl.
3rd and 1. And a good size hole for Allen, who darts through for the first down as they run behind that big 307-pound John Alt.
All day long, Dick, the offensive line of the Kansas City Chiefs has won this battle. We had Will Shields in the backfield that time as a lead blocker for Marcus Allen, number 68. He did an excellent job of lead blocking. He's got to go out for a play now. He'll be eligible to come in on the next snap.
2 months ago, Allen rushed for over 50 yards. That's the last time he's hit 50, and that was against the Raiders. There's that bootleg pass, and this time to the tight end, Derek Walker. It was Montana to Walker on a similar play. The only score, touchdown, in the 13-3 win at Kansas City for the Chiefs.
Well, they are deep into their game plan here. Again, the same play we saw this time. The defensive end is Chester McLaughlin, 91, and he bites on the play fake, so there's nobody out there to bother Joe Montana, and he makes an easy completion. I'm telling you, we are way deep into the Kansas City playbook here.
1st and goal from the 7, leading 14-3. The 10th play coming up of this drive. Lake Dawson in motion. Marcus Allen to the 3-yard line.
Boy, is that a gift.
Moss.
Excuse me, is that a gift? That short yardage ability of Marcus Allen. He makes himself a small target. He's not a wide body. He weighs just over 200 pounds. He's not a big fullback, but he gets low, he drives, turns his shoulder pad, so there's not a lot to hit.
Boy, most of middle-aged America would like to make themselves small. We ought to go to the Marcus Allen school. Just shrink down whenever you want to. 2nd and goal. And flags down before the play. No play. And that would have been to the, that's a play out, a new one to Joe Valerio. No, that's not to Valerio. That was to Ricky Siglar.
Snap. False start, number 73 on the offense.
But Valerio, who has 2 touchdown passes on plays like that this year, was guilty of the foul. He says, hey, if I'm not going to get the touchdown, Siglar, watch out. And Siglar comes up wounded a bit.
There's the movement. Siglar is over here. Yeah, Joe's saying, hey, that's my play. That's my play.
And Siglar, maybe that hurts a bit more since he didn't get the 6 points out of it.
There's also a Raider being attended to on the field.
Valerio, whose dad was a professional boxer, at one time sparred with Rocky Marciano in the 50s. He himself, Joe Valerio, done a little work with a bag himself. He's from the University of Pennsylvania.
That's a big heavyweight. That's Primo Carnera size.
His dad was a welterweight. Siglar holding that right shoulder after making what he thought was a touchdown catch. And Scott Davis, the injured Raider. Davis, who had retired from football at a very young age, and then at 29 returning this year, but not much contribution for Scott, who was a #1 pick out of Illinois in '88. Time-consuming drive by Kansas City, playing with the lead. This is 2nd and goal. They go to the run. A typical West Coast offense play. Bill Walsh, when it was an obvious passing situation, you run, and just the reverse. Didn't fool the Raiders. 3rd and goal from the 5.
There's Paul Hackett. He's the student of the West Coast offense. He's the guy who brought it to Kansas City. To his left, our right, is Jimmy Ray. Yeah, you're right. You never want to give the defensive line the idea of what's coming next. And Kansas City has done that beautifully today. They ran that last play to set this play up.
Burden left and Davis right. Montana. Oh, a dangerous pass. Willie Davis covered by All-Pro Terry McDaniel. And McDaniel was thinking of Mark Collins as that one was thrown. He had an open field.
Dick, that was the same pattern that Kansas City ran in Denver to win that game. Remember this pattern to Willie Davis on the outside? Well, Terry McDaniel wasn't the man in coverage. He's running the delay outside, and he just gets his hand on it. And you're right. That would have been a nice foot race to see between Willie Davis and Terry McDaniel there.
22-yard field goal attempt by Lynn Elliott. And the Raider lead is now 2 full touchdowns, 17-3, with just over 5 minutes left in the 3rd. This play could have really brought the Coliseum crowd to its feet.
I'm Greg Gumbel in New York. In San Diego, Natron Means scores from 2 yards out. The San Diego Chargers can secure a first-round bye with a win or a tie against the Steelers today. They lead at 24-13, 7:02 to play in the 3rd quarter. Let's go back to Dick Enberg and Bob Trumpy.
All right, Greg, thank you. All the spots now are reserved. We don't know the matchups in the playoffs except this one. Kansas City or the Raiders will complete the 12-team playoff field. 14-3 to 17-3 for Kansas City on the 22-yard field goal by Elliott that capped a 71-yard Kansas City drive. Elliott to Rocket at the 9. Ismail weaving his way out to the 37-yard line. A fancy return. And a fancy return we go to the NBA on NBC, starting tomorrow with a doubleheader. 3:30 Eastern for all the experts in the studio, and then Seattle-Denver. What a series, 5-game series that was.
And whether you're a fan or not, when it's this close and it's this big an upset, you enjoy it, don't you?
That was a classic. In fact, George Karl, it took him a month to get over that loss, coach of the Seattle Sonics. And then the Knicks and the Bulls, 2 of the top teams in the NBA go at it. Doubleheader tomorrow. Rocket helped off the field after that kick return, and a rare chance to carry the ball for Harvey Williams in the 2nd half, as the Raiders down in points have gone to the pass. He has 48 yards rushing as he's trying to hit that 1,000 yard mark for the season. He needed 65 yards to hit 1,000.
Raiders have already come out in the 2nd half and twice gone 3 downs and out. Have any chance to get back in this football game, this must be a scoring drive.
2nd and short for Hostetler. Behind Rathman, they toss to Williams, and Darren Mickle caught the play from behind. Fans starting to grumble.
This defensive line of Kansas City now has done a fine job. They were faced with that 12-minute, 22-play drive in the 1st half. They've not lost any of their energy, as Ismail is addressed on the sideline by the trainers and doctors. But this Kansas City team has played both sides of the ball extremely well today under pressure.
Rocket will be Monday night guest of Jay Leno on the Tonight Show. Get some insights into what happened today. 3rd and 2 for Hostetler. And a drop by the tight end Glover. Had the ball in traffic, but the kind of catch you would expect, and Hostetler frustrated, sees the punting team come on.
Yeah, Dick, this is, in my estimation, all the effect of that interception at the end of the first half. Out of sync. There's not really the verve there for the Los Angeles Raiders. That interception returned by Mark Collins at the end of the first half has just neutralized the Raiders here at the beginning of the second half.
Look at Hostetler. He told us yesterday at the holiday time, a very thoughtful, bright guy, said, I'd just like to find a way to really help the needy in our society. And in a way, the needy are the Raiders at this point. They are. And they don't get the snap in time. That'll be a 5-yard penalty, but no flag. So Danan Hughes watches the ball bounce inside the 5 and trickle in for the touchback.
It has been Kansas City's day.
Gossett, who's very good at digging those wedge punts, but that one goes in for the touchback.
This is Rocket Ismail. We saw him being addressed on the sideline. Watch his left leg as he plants. He gets hit from the inside. And right here, watch that left leg. He's up on the sideline and okay, and if he's going to visit Jay Leno, he may be limping a little bit.
He's got that breakaway power that the Raiders are going to need as time ticks away. 3:21 left in the third period. 6 touchdowns for Ismail, who played a couple of years in the Canadian Football League in Toronto.
He had to get used to practicing all day here. In the NFL and the Canadian League, you can only practice 4 hours a day.
Marcus Allen and Chester McLaughlin met him right at the line of scrimmage. Allen falls forward for a yard. McLaughlin, who weighed 360 pounds as a senior at Clemson when he was picked as a #1 draft by the Raiders. Mom works for the Whiteville, North Carolina Fire Department.
Young guy who really doesn't lift a lot of weights, but is just naturally one of the strongest individuals you ever come across. He's going to have a lot of Pro Bowls behind his name.
2nd down and 9 underneath to the veteran Eric Martin. Tackled shy of a first down at the 29. Eddie Anderson made the stop.
Dick, every time the Raiders try to blitz, Kansas City's called the right play. Every time they go with a zone, Kansas City's called the right play. Seldom do you have a day like this when it just works and works so well. That's the defensive coordinator, John Fox. He hasn't, it's not him, because the defense reacts to what you see on film. And the Chiefs have, this has been a remarkable offensive performance today.
2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Montana will spend his second timeout on 3rd and 1. Kansas City, it's a remarkable fact that in the last 10 games with the Raiders, KC has won 9 of them, 9-1, and Marty Schottenheimer's really had the Raiders number. Word on the Rocket is a left knee injury, and no word as to whether he might return.
Dick, you know, you talk about the 9-1 record, the Chiefs over the Raiders. I can't remember a turnover bigger than that interception return by Mark Collins.
10-pointer.
Yeah, at the time it took place at the end of the half, it was 10 points. Raiders were about to score. When it made it 7-6, they're in the game. It has taken everything out of the Los Angeles Raiders.
Yeah, Mark Collins, who brought that New York Giants Super Bowl toughness to the Kansas City defense, he made that apparent from day one in camp.
You're absolutely correct.
3rd and a long one. Montana out of the backfield to Anders, breaks a tackle, first down and much more. Close to the 45-yard line. Derek Hoskins finally makes the tackle. 16 more yards for Anders. He has produced on the receiving end. 73 yards today.
Ran through the tackle of Rob Fredrickson, 53. Excellent job of one catching the ball, but then breaking the tackle.
But again, the ball was right there. Even though it's a short pass, the ball was exactly where it had to be.
The only downside of that play, well, they did allow him to stay in bounds. The clock is still running. I don't know why. Well, he was tackled in bounds.
Well, until the final 5 minutes, it won't be turned off out of bounds. Greg Hill hit in the backfield. And he still gets something. Big. And the last Raider, Eddie Anderson, makes the tackle at the 41-yard line. 14-yard gain out of a 5-yard loss.
Dick, the heart has gone out of this Raider defense.
And a first down at the 41.
You're right. This should not have been this big a play. It looks like he's going to be caught behind the line of scrimmage. And McLaughlin misses him. And then he avoids the tackle by Biekert, and finally Eddie Anderson gets him on a very poor tackling, which is something the Raiders normally do very well, and that is tackle the ball carrier.
Final minute of the third period and a first down for the Chiefs. Hill. About 10 more yards before Hoskins can get him down. And the Chiefs now with a 17-3 lead are in field goal range as we close the third quarter.
It's not normally this easy when these two teams play. For either side, it's not normally this easy.
Chiefs as a team with Marcus Allen and Greg Hill have gained over 100 yards rushing today, and that's kind of a measuring stick. You get over 100 yards in this Raider defense and your chances of winning are vastly improved. Lake Dawson on a reverse. They are pulling out everything. And Dawson is out of bounds after a first down to the 18-yard line. 12 more yards.
I can't remember a time when the Coliseum was as quiet as it is here, but they are saying just, we're done, we're finished, we're cooked. And as much as the Raiders defense is trying to come up with something, I mean, they're just a step slow. They're not getting on the ground. They're not really taking on the Kansas City Chiefs as the quarter ends.
Kansas City Chiefs leading 17-3, and will return after these messages from your local station. We open the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs' last 4 plays have gone for 16, 14, 11, and 13 yards. And Archell called the defense over in the quarter break. Open the fourth period. Kansas City deep in Raiders territory with a 2-touchdown lead. And Marcus Allen in a flag down where you would expect holding against Kansas City. Let's go back after the third quarter ended, calling the defense to the sidelines.
Holding, number 68 on the offense, 10 yards, still first.
And part of what he says is this head is going to move, and he says, don't give up. Don't give up. See if we can pick it up. There it is. Says it again here. Don't give up.
Yeah, Art doesn't display this kind of emotion, and for him that is spirited very often. This is the season he's talking about. A quarter to go. The winner to the playoffs, and Montana deep down the middle has a man open, and Willie Davis had the touchdown to start the game, 47 yards, and former Chief Albert Lewis with a big play.
That is great coverage by Albert Lewis. He's looking in the backfield now to Davis. It's like the long arms of Albert Lewis get around Willie Davis and just knock the ball away. No contact. How about that for a veteran corner play? That arm just comes right in between the two hands of Willie Davis.
Looks like a touchdown down to the mini second. Montana thought he had the big lead. Now it's second and long. Second and 20. Incomplete and a flag down.
Ball was intended for Lake Dawson. There was all kinds of contact as he left the line of scrimmage.
And this one against the Raiders carries an automatic first down. Art Shell has said at the start of the year, this is my best Raider team.
On the defense, 5 yards, first down.
Terry McDaniel in his 6th year with the Raiders.
Here's Dawson, here's McDaniel. You're allowed that chuck on the 5 yards. The hand all over the arm. Lake Dawson had no chance to even put his arm out, so first down.
That comes on a 2nd and 20, or actually it would have been 3rd and 20 had it not been a penalty. First man misses, and Jerry Ball, frustrated, slams his fist into the turf after he missed a tackle for a loss. Let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick, in San Diego, the Chargers and the Steelers. Pittsburgh comes back. Fred McAfee, 6-yard touchdown run. The 2-point conversion failed. It's a 24-19 San Diego lead with time just having expired at the end of the third quarter, Dick.
All right, Greg, as the Chargers, who have clinched the West, and of course Pittsburgh has everything going for them. They'll have home field throughout the playoffs. Patrick Bates shaking a bit on that last play. Kansas City Chiefs scored first, 7-0, then a 7-3 game, and the Raiders had the ball driving toward a possible go-ahead score, at least a field goal into the first half when Mark Collins ducked in front, went 78 yards for a touchdown, 14-3 that really seemed to take the life right out of this Los Angeles team. San Diego Chargers, meanwhile, with that lead against Pittsburgh, going for a first-round bye. That's what's at stake in that game. This is everything for these two teams. One says goodbye to the season. The other is part of the playoff picture. Nolan Harrison makes the stop on Marcus Allen.
That's Marcus Allen is having an awful nice day now for the Kansas City Chiefs.
71 yards for the veteran 34-year-old running back. That's his best since the opening game of the season against New Orleans.
19 carries too. You know, when they got Allen back and they got Burden back and Davis back, suddenly that offensive sputter that the Kansas City Chiefs had, it's been righted. So when all players are there, they seem to be able to get the ball down the field.
3rd and 1. Greg Hill. And that's going to be close depending on the mark. It appeared the Raiders able to stuff Hill before he got to the sticks. And Red Cashin says bring in the Jays. Also in the National Conference, Dallas, of course, and San Francisco are in, and 4 teams, Minnesota, Chicago, Detroit, and Green Bay, regardless of what happens Sunday and Monday, are through to the playoffs. Yeah. 4 from the Central.
I don't think that's ever happened before, has it?
No. And in the American Conference, it appears, well, it will be 2 from each division. Miami and New England, Pittsburgh and Cleveland from the Central, and San Diego and the winner of this game from the West. That much for a first down for the Chiefs. It's a big field goal here, however, and Marty's, well, maybe he's going to go for it. A field goal would make it a 3-touchdown game for the Raiders to overcome, but that's a surprise.
I think he realizes this Raider turtle that's on its back. He's not going to help it up. He's not going to give him any chance whatsoever here.
But if the Raiders can stop Kansas City, it keeps them within 2 touchdowns. Valerio is an eligible receiver. Doesn't matter. Marcus Allen hit. Second effort. And he fights to the 11-yard line and a first down. The veteran Marcus Allen.
Where do they find guys like that?
What drives his engine? Part of it is the emotions that still ring freely from being rejected by the Raider organization.
Now, when you look at the Raiders' record book, named Marcus Allen is all over the place. Here's the first attempt, he gets hit. He keeps fighting. There's the second one, and there's the third. That is Hall of Fame material right there. Marcus Allen.
This could produce right from the opening bell. Now it's the rookie Hill. And he fumbled the ball. Raiders get it. Hoskins at the 2-yard line. Oh, Greg Hill. So close to putting the game away and coughs it up.
Well, the decision by Marty Schottenheimer to go for it on 4th down produces the fumble. But Greg Hill should hang on to it. Eddie Anderson with the hit. Along with Hoskins, he makes the hit and the recovery. Raiders ball.
Rookie Greg Hill stripped of the ball. Derek Hoskins and Marty Schottenheimer goes to his first-year player immediately. Now this is a man coaching for the next game and for the next season already.
Tendency is when that happens, you are a willing listener. You say nothing as the head coach is in your face.
2 yards away from putting this game on ice, the Chiefs. Now the Raiders get a chance with 12 minutes to go from their own 2. Hostetler to Tim Brown to the 10-yard line. I want to go back, and it's now a flag down in the end zone. Wait a minute. If that's against the Raiders in the end zone, it's a safety. If the penalty occurred in the end zone, and Derek Thomas is right, that's 2 points for Kansas City.
And the Raiders kick off to Kansas City.
Hostetler campaigning from the LA side.
We have tripping by the offense in the end zone. It's a safety.
The most penalized team in NFL history, the Los Angeles Raiders of 1994, have just created a penalty that costs them 2 points.
And the ball. See if we can pick up who does what here on the trip. Now Neil Smith makes a. Oh, it looks like the running back was oh, maybe it was Mosbar. Did you see Mosbar's leg on Saliamua? I couldn't really tell who it was on. Let's see if we can pick it up. Watch the center as Saliamua goes around him. Does Mosbar stick his leg out?
Yep.
Does.
Yep. He trips him.
Don Mosbar trips him. There's the call.
A 16-point Kansas City lead. Yeah, the big guys in the offensive line, you never point them out on positive matters, and a mistake is made, and now they're in full focus. Don Mosbar, one of the top centers in the league, caught tripping in the end zone. Penalty in the end zone, safety, and now the free kick from the 20-yard line. Kansas City leading 19-3.
Now, what do you do if you're the center? You got to protect your quarterback.
Danon Hughes at the 17. Hughes across the 30-yard line. Tackled by Greg Beaker. Let's go back to the penalty.
At your own goal line, you do have to be careful, you know, but here is the matchup. Mosbar, and when Hostetler moves out here, you're going to see the right leg of Mosbar on Saliamua's swim move and twist. There's the right leg. Sticks it out, trips him. No question whatsoever. Penalty in the end zone, 2-point safety. And Marty, heck of an official. He can recognize. Yes, sir.
Has to be a safety. It has to be.
Neil Smith celebrating.
And hello to Thurman Thomas up in Buffalo.
Yes, he is. That's reindeer.
Montana play action. And completes the pass. First down. J.J. Burden. And Montana, as he delivered the ball, holding his left knee, which provokes a cheer from the Raider fans. Of all the things that aggravate me as a reporter, I suppose that hits me deepest of all. That I love the fact fans cheer for their own team, but when they cheer for an injured player on the opposition, I just...
But it's few and far between. Let's see who makes the hit. There's pressure. It's Jerry Ball. Jerry Ball, 93, right down at his knee, gets around Grunhard, 61. Grunhard comes to his defense too late. They know what a special package number 19 is there.
And number 13, Steve Bono, played on this turf as a member of the UCLA Bruins, getting final word from Marty Schottenheimer. One would guess that Marty said, hey, don't take any unreasonable chances. We have the lead and 11:36 to go.
So now the story becomes, how serious is the injury to Joe Montana?
Jim Gray will search out whatever information we can learn from the sidelines. First down catch by Burden to the 45. Marcus Allen. 5, 10. And a flag down as he stopped at the 44 of the Raiders. 12-yard play for Marcus Allen if holding against Kansas City. Montana with a 214-yard passing day, 1 touchdown, that in the first 2 minutes of the game. Chiefs trying to protect whatever from our cameras.
Certainly looking at his left knee, and Jerry Ball at 320 plus pounds falling on that leg. Again, watch 93 is right behind Grant. See that? There it is. Helmet right on the knee. Hyperextends it to the outside, or at least flexes it to the outside. Joe's remained pretty healthy this year. He had that AstroTurf ankle injury, I thought, but a lot healthier this year than last year.
Interestingly, the penalty marked off from the spot of the foul exactly 10 yards that Allen had gained, so it's 1st and 10 again. Blitz, Bono to Eric Martin, and a first down at the 41-yard line. The Chiefs in the lead as we go to New York.
All right, Dick, in San Diego, watch this one. Mike Tomczak of the Steelers to the rookie, Charles Johnson. Bad tackling by the Chargers. 84-yard touchdown play. 2-point conversion puts Pittsburgh up 27-24. Dick and Bob, time permitting, we'll show your audience the end of this game. Let's go back to you.
All right, Greg, we'll stand by. We'll, before we leave the year, have the finals of both of these games on the West Coast. Steve Bono has taken over for Joe Montana. 10-20 left. 16-point lead, Kansas City, is Marcus Allen. Sneaking under the tackle to the 36-yard line, and Marcus Allen, against his former teammates on his former home grounds, is having the best day of the season for this veteran 34-year-old. 89 yards rushing for Marcus Allen.
There's no place he'd rather do it than the Coliseum in front of several people that we all know whose name they are. We won't mention them now, but yeah, you get special delight in performing to his typical fashion.
Well, no sooner had San Diego relinquished the lead than they come back and kick a field goal. That game's now tied at 27. Bono to Allen. And Allen close to another first down at the 31-yard line. Tackled by Albert Lewis and Greg Biekert. Jim Gray with a report on Joe Montana.
All right, Dick, Joe Montana has a left knee contusion. He's not going to return to the game. It's questionable if he could return, but the coaching staff right now feels that they're in control of this game and probably will keep him out. As for next week, they don't feel that it's going to be a problem, but they're just going to wait and see, and they're not going to take any further chances. It's a left knee contusion. Dick?
All right, Jim.
Dick, I would think that they would start treatment immediately. I mean, there's no use him standing on the sideline. Get him into the training room and try to put ice on it or whatever. He doesn't want to show any discomfort there, but you can start now with something. Might help come next week.
Of course, these kinds of situations with all the strategy in line, and you don't want to give the opponents too much information, you're not going to be very specific about such a key possible injury. Meanwhile, on the positive side, Marcus Allen, since 1988, 6 seasons, has had one 100-yard rushing game. That was 3 years ago. He's 7 yards from hitting the century today. Sweet. The submarine under the tackle. He's at the 31, and that'll be probably a measurement for Red Cashin's crew, Biekert and Lewis and Fredrickson in the stop.
Good warm-up for Marcus Allen for the rest of the playoffs as they enter next week. You know, with that knee injury out a couple, 3 weeks, he's now wearing that knee brace, and this is a good bit of exercise for the aged wonder of the Kansas City Chiefs here.
Now Red Cashin says nope, not close enough for a measurement, so 4th and inches.
It looks like they're going to put Will Shields in it. No, it's not Will Shields, or is it? Is Will Shields at fullback? Yes, he is. Number 68.
There's the last timeout spent by Kansas City. As time running out, so on 4th and inches, Bono will go over and talk with the Kansas City Brain Trust. Timeout, 8:20 remaining.
NFL on NBC is brought to you by GMC Truck, the strength of experience. By the U.S. Army, learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. By DirecTV, introducing personalized TV. And by Red Dog Beer, bold yet smooth, unusually easy to drink. You are your own dog.
Fourth down and inches, and the give to Allen with flags down. Allen diving to the 30 and then pushed back. James Trapp leading the charge for the Raiders. The flag is down. Apparently against Kansas City.
Before the snap, false start. Number 82 on the offense. 5 yards, still fourth down.
Tight end Derek Walker. So fourth and long, or at least 5.5 yards. 8:19 left. 11th Kansas City penalty today.
Walker rocking out of his stance. Flag goes. Now I don't think there's any doubt you do punt the ball away.
And on comes the special teams. Louis Aguiar. So if you're an optimistic Los Angeles Raider fan, your team is 2 touchdowns and 2 two-point conversions away from a tie. 19-3, and Kansas City's defense, what a stop they put on the Raiders this year. Oh, look at Carter. No one there for the Raiders, so he can field that ball inside the 5. Joe Montana continues to work on the knee, and now the arm. Good sign for the Kansas City faithful.
First and 10 Raiders.
As we wish you all from NBC Sports Merry Christmas and Happy Holiday. High above the Goodyear Blimp Eagles. And providing these aerial pictures, Goodyear blimps travel over 100,000 miles every year, covering major sporting events. Our esteemed leader, Dick Ebersol, watching from Telluride, Colorado, nursing. He's on the injured list as he took on the whole mountain, shoulder first, all the way down to the rest of us working folks. Wish you all the best of holidays as Hostetler goes to work from his own 3. Oh, since that interception by Collins, there's just no life in that Raider offense.
Frankly, on either side of the ball. Look at that. 3, 3, 3, 1. 10 plays. That's as bad as I've ever seen an effect have on a team. 1 play. Turn it around. And Art Shell saying at halftime to our Jim Gray, said, just trying for a few more yards. I made the mistake.
12 seconds to go. Could have kicked the field goal then. It made it 7-6 if the field goal had been good. Working from his end zone, looking for his first completion, and has it in the second half to Tim Brown, and a first down out to the 26-yard line with 7:58 to go. 23-yard play.
That's the Raiders' first down in the second half. The 5th catch of the afternoon for Tim Brown. We basically have to treat the rest of this game as a hurry-up situation.
Meanwhile, down at the Murph in San Diego, the Steelers and Chargers are tied at 27. We'll be switching you down to that action, time permitting. Looking for something big, instead underneath to Harvey Williams. And Williams hit from behind by Derek Thomas after a gain of 8. Raiders have all their timeouts remaining. 7:17, 7:16 left, 16-point deficit. Much of this sellout crowd has given up on the Raider chances.
I left the message.
Hostetler now has them on the move. The first down pass to Brown gets the ball to the 45-yard line.
Dick, Kansas City is going with 7 defensive backs. They just have a 4-man rush up front. And they're going to give the Raiders any reception. Just make sure it's in front of the deepest defensive back. Hope the lead they have and the clock works in their favor.
Tim Brown 1 catch away from becoming the first Raider wide receiver in history to catch 90 passes in a season. Hostetler can't get away from Derek Thomas. He's sacked, and a flag goes down. Thomas with a sack, his second, and Hostetler in pain. Emotionally wounded in the first half, and now physically injured here in the final minutes.
Trying to make a play, too.
Boy, that's one thing about him. He is a player.
He never gives up on a play, and this is he waltzing all over the pocket. You can see that Derek Thomas comes from way over on the other side. But when Thomas grabs it, the whole weight of Thomas, well, I couldn't really tell what it was. He landed on his left shoulder and also his leg. Thomas never gives up on a play either.
Third sack of the day for the Chiefs defense. They have 40 on the season. And the second for Derek Thomas to give him a dozen this year. What a tremendous play.
Right ankle. There's the shot. The right ankle turned inside.
Another flag. No, this was just somebody tossing the flag back to referee Cashin, who now makes the announcement.
It's 10 yards, still first down.
Tripping penalty against Greg Skrepenek, the tackle. That's 2 tripping calls on the offensive line. One cost them 2 points.
I think this is our best view of what happened. Derek Thomas, when his foot goes down right there's the right ankle. And Jeff Hostetler is up, being attended to on the sideline, but again, trying to make that play.
And while Hostetler limps off, let's go to Greg Gumbel in New York for this NFL update.
All right, Dick, in San Diego, the Steelers and the Chargers tied at 27. Not anymore from 11 yards out. Mike Tomczak to Andre Hastings. He got down in time. A San Diego loss cost the Chargers a first-round bye. 6.5 to play. The Steelers lead at 34-27, Dick.
Thanks, Greg. So the Steelers, who have made hay this season on defense, showing they can light up the board down in San Diego, as they've got really nothing to gain other than to go into the playoffs on a terrific roll. And for San Diego, they'd like to have a week off to rest. They've got a lot of injured folks down there. Vince Evans, the quarterback. He comes out throwing long to Alexander Wright for a touchdown. Oh, my. Vince Evans, first throw, goes 65 yards for a score to Alexander Wright.
That thing could have gone 75. Caught the Kansas City Chiefs in a total state of shock.
And now, of course, the 2-point conversion critical to cut the lead to 8. 19-9 the score.
Hostetler on the bench with the sprained ankle, and I guess the Raiders version of Roy Hobbs comes out there on the field and launches one on his first attempt of the day.
Evans threw the ball 32 times all year, had 1 touchdown. Veteran who first broke into the league with the Bears in 1977 for the 2 points. As the man incomplete, Jay Taylor breaks it up. So the lead is 10 points, leaving the Raiders a touchdown and a field goal from a tie with 6:21 to go, and they've yet to use any of their 3 timeouts. So hope, however faint, still alive at the Coliseum.
Dick, here's the touchdown, and you see Alexander Wright with his great speed get by. The safety doesn't rotate out far enough, and when Alexander Wright goes by Dale Carter, the safety has no chance to catch it. Vince Evans put this one out beautifully. I mean, laces up, inside shoulder, right foot, perfect. So what's the big deal here, fellas? I've been standing on the sideline, and you've not been able to do anything all day.
The Raiders struggle the whole half, and then Hostetler gets hurt, and Evans on 1 play gets them a touchdown.
2-point conversion attempt. Excellent job by Jay Taylor. Thrown a little behind Tim Brown on the proper side. He might have had a chance, but Jay Taylor was there to knock the ball away. If you're the Raiders, you got to think onside kick. I mean, let's keep it interesting here. Keep the pressure on.
That's the first down of the entire second half of the Raiders. Hostetler throws 26 times without a touchdown, and the veteran Vince Evans, 1 throw, 1 score. Here's the playoff picture. This game will complete the 6th AFC member. All 6 in the NFC have now been decided by play today. Obviously will be a wild card road team if it's Kansas City, and meanwhile down by 7 are the Chargers, who could take a week off if they beat Pittsburgh. And you have to admire Bill Cowher's Steelers They're not taking a Sunday off, even though they get next week as a bye.
And you know, scoring 34 points against the San Diego Chargers, that's a pretty good defense.
All right, the Chiefs now look for the onside kick. And the Raiders are going to accommodate. Nope. They set up with the onside kick look and kick it away, and a good one to Danon Hughes. And in a way, that's a good ploy. You force the receiving team to take away all the blocking schemes for a return, and you pin them deep in their own end.
Yes, but Danon Hughes makes a very smart play there. Just make sure he doesn't do something stupid with the football.
January 1st, 1995, first round of the playoffs, and NBC will be there with a wild card game yet to be determined.
The kicking team was offside. Number 52, be a 5-yard penalty, and we'll re-kick.
Oh, Mike Jones a bit eager. So on that January 1st, we're going to start the new year for you sports fans in the best of ways, the wild card AFC game. And then, of course, on the night of January 1st, the game that will decide who wins the national championship in college football, the Orange Bowl in Miami on January 1st evening.
And what you want to do is rush that line. See if we can pick up. Well, there's 2 guys offsides, maybe even 3. No question about that. They call it on Jones, 52, but I think they had their choice. So
normally, they're more or less, Steve Ortmeyer, the special teams coach, normally they are liberal on that call, except when an official's anticipating an onside kick because they don't want to give you the step. When it's the long kick, they'll overlook you being offside by a half step, but they didn't this time, thinking perhaps that it would be onside.
Well, they're going to. Now, do they try it this time, or is it another deep kick?
That's the 9th penalty on the Raiders, who keep building on their all-time record. Same ploy. Same distance to Hughes. Actually better, 5 yards farther. And Hughes finds some running room, is out to the 33-yard line.
Hughes took the kickoff from the
6 minutes and 2 seconds remain, and Steve Bono for the injured Joe Montana. Bono, who sub for Montana, was injured, missed a couple of games with that left foot injury. He has 4 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the year.
There's Montana on the sideline. Bono certainly knows this offense. Was in San Francisco there with Joe and learned every aspect of it. Actually taught the Kansas City Chiefs a little more of the offense when he came.
Think Marcus Allen will get some chances here?
I would hope.
Juggled the handoff and gets to the 35-yard line. Perhaps the lowest point, according to Marty Schottenheimer, of this season for Kansas City was the Marcus Allen fumble when it appeared that the Kansas City Chiefs were in position to beat Denver in overtime, and the Broncos wind up winning that game.
Yeah, he also said the high point was beating San Francisco and beating them rather soundly.
That was the early start. That's how things started today. In less than 2 minutes, Montana hit Willie Davis wide open, 47 yards to give a 7-0 lead. Jager in the second quarter with a short field goal to make it 7-3. And then with Raiders moving toward a 7-6 at least with a field goal interception, Mark Collins, 78-yard touchdown that really blew the game apart. And Elliott with a short field goal to make it a 2-touchdown lead. Then the safety on the tripping penalty in the end zone against Mosbar of the Raiders made it 19-3 before Evans hit Alexander Wright with the bomb. 10-point game, 5:55 left. Allen, big hole. And Allen has a first down to the 45-yard line, and the clock is running at 5:45. Back to Greg Gumbel in New York.
All right, Dick, at San Diego, a 4th and 1 for the Chargers. Natron Means will get it and more. 20-yard touchdown. This drive helped along by a roughing the passer penalty against the Steelers. A win or a tie gets the Chargers a first-round bye. They're tied at 34, 4.5 to play, Dick.
Boy, and all the graybeards who can think back to the American Football League days, that is an old AFL game going on down there.
But the last game of the season, nothing at stake. You don't want to go to overtime.
Mark Marcus Allen over 100 yards, and he's stuffed this time after a gain of about 3. Depending on the length of this game, as the Raiders use a timeout, we will show you the conclusion of that scoring fest in San Diego, and should they go overtime, we'll have it for you. But there's a part of the story today. Marty Schottenheimer and the Chiefs said before this game, if we're going to win in Los Angeles, we must run the ball. And Marcus Allen has answered the call.
He has from the outset. That's a nice select group there. Those rushers with 10,000 yards in their career.
Elite. They're Hall of Famers, and he needs just a handful to hit the 10,000 mark.
What he brings for the team, not only as a running back, but just the knowledge, the experience, the level head. He's a lot like Montana, that he seldom gets too emotional. He just goes about his business. And a great lesson to teach the young kids on the team. There's the other half of that equation, that level head.
One timeout left for the Raiders. Back to Marcus, and they knew he was going to get it. Anthony Smith met him in the backfield. Timeout again. So there's the full complement of timeouts for the Raiders. 4:56 remaining.
Well, you haven't heard a lot from Anthony Smith today. Been handled pretty well by Derek Graham and others. Across the line of scrimmage to drop Marcus for what, a 2 or 3 yard loss?
So all the timeouts spent on both sides. And now it's up to the Raider defense on 3rd down and long to stop Kansas City. Get the ball back. They need 2 possessions, trailing by 10. Jeff Hostetler with an injured ankle. Starting quarterback for Kansas City, Joe Montana, injured knee.
They've got his ankle taped, and taped rather heavily. I don't see any ice on that right ankle, but with the present score, he's got 7 months to recover from that sprained ankle.
And when he does, will he be wearing black and silver?
I don't know the answer to that question.
Many feel he'll be playing somewhere else next year. Marcus. Fancy piece of running by Allen, and he slides with a first down at the 42 of the Raiders, making something out of nothing.
And is that over 10,000? He needed 7.
Well, then he lost some yards, and it's going to be right at the 10,000 mark. Russ Slingshot Schneiderman wearing out another pen. He has 117 yards today, and that puts him over the 10,000 mark. Allen, who scored his 100th touchdown against the Raiders here, and Bob Trumpy applauding a super athlete, Marcus Allen, who must be really digging under the skin of some of the executives from the very top of the Raider organization. That's staggering. He must be exhausted. The call going to Marcus again.
I remember the line that Marty Schottenheimer gave us about Marcus Allen. He said, I knew Marcus Allen was a superb athlete. When the Raiders got Bo Jackson, Marcus was willing to block for Bo Jackson, just as he had at USC for Charles White. He said when Marcus Allen, who had already established himself as a league's MVP and a Super Bowl MVP, was willing to block for Bo Jackson, he said, I want that guy on my football team.
His best day in some half dozen years. He's carried the ball all 6 times on this last drive for Kansas City. And this time Kimball Anders. And Anders through a good size hole as they were looking for Marcus Allen. Has another Kansas City first down, and the Raiders have no way to stop the clock. Jim Gray.
Well, Dick, Joe Montana's down on the sidelines. He's laughing. He's having a good time. Most importantly, however, he's moving around pretty well. The training staff for the Chiefs right now does not feel as though this is a serious injury, this left knee contusion that he has. They're going to take a good look at it tonight and then see tomorrow after he wakes up, but they don't believe right now that it's all that serious. Dick?
All right, Jim. And the Raiders apparently with a 10-point lead and running out the clock are through at the time when many Kansas City fans looked at this season as being dismal, a failure. 8-7 coming into this game, with the Raiders. They were 7-7 with 2 games to go. Beat Houston last week and apparently are going to win today in Los Angeles.
They had lost 3 in a row and then 1 last week against Houston, and people were really sure what kind of football team this was. But Dick, I repeat what I said earlier. When they got Burden and Davis back and Marcus Allen healthy and Montana on the field, then they can spread this Southern California, this West Coast offense out. It's very difficult to defense this offense when all parts are working. You don't know where to turn.
Ticking down to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to go. And Kansas City enjoying a 10-point lead. The employee owners of Avis salute the game's most valuable players, Neil Smith and Mark Collins, collaborating on this game-turning play.
You saw the hand in the face mask by Neil Smith on Jeff Hostetler. Collins makes the interception, and that took the air, the life, the hopes, and the dreams out of the Los Angeles Raiders on this season. And there's Jeff Hostetler on the ground. They did not recover from that.
Smith and Collins, winner of today's We Try Harder award. Avis, the official rental company of the NFL. Steve Bono trying to run out the clock and gives to Marcus Allen inside the 25-yard line, and the clock will run. That was a second down play. The last time that Hostetler and Montana hooked up was in the playoffs 4 years ago, remember? And it was the Giants who won in San Francisco 15-13. But today, in pain emotionally and physically, Hostetler sees his Raider team's hopes for the playoffs die at the hands of Kansas City. And a reminder, San Diego, Pittsburgh tied. We're going to go down there, game time permitting, to see the conclusion of that one. Allen vaults through for another first down to the 20-yard line, and that'll do it. Led by Marcus Allen, the Kansas City Chiefs rushed for over 200 yards against the Raiders today. 132 by the incredible 34-year-old former Heisman winner at Southern Cal.
And Dick, I imagine that Marcus Allen will be congratulated by a lot of his former teammates from the Raiders. He's still close to many, and they appreciate the job that he's done.
206 yards. It's Carl Peterson, the general manager, vice president of the Chiefs, down to congratulate the team that he's put together with Marty Schottenheimer. It didn't look good for Kansas City for a while, but they have been able to rally in the last 2 games, and the big win today makes it 5 straight for Marty Schottenheimer and the Chiefs, the longest active streak of any NFL team. And Marcus Allen, well, how many superlatives do you have to describe what a great talent he is and how he's produced in somewhat revenge against his former team that did not want him. 10 out of 11 times Schottenheimer has beaten the Los Angeles Raiders. The final score, 19-9. Joe Montana and Kansas City with a chance to move in what appears to be a wide open AFC playoff picture. And now, as the Chiefs celebrate the win here, we take you down south to the Murph, the Chargers and the Steelers.